Hello, my lovely viewers. So I am so excited to be back to give you guys a reading today. I've actually been kind of sick. I was trying to film a lot of readings for y'all, but I got really bad poison ivy, which I'm allergic to, had to go to urgent care, and I'm on prescriptions now because it's spread over most of my body. So I've been in a lot of pain and had a fever and whatnot. But we are back doing the readings. I feel like something is messing around with my skin to try to prevent me from doing readings for y'all, which just makes me want to do them more. So we are going to do an amazing reading today and really channel deeply because nothing is going to stop our readings. So with that being said, you guys, let's get into it. Today we are going to do a deep dive into their psychology. So we are going to be talking about like their hidden motivations. You know, who knows what's going to come up. It's about their deepest psychology. So why did they act the way they did? I was just thinking today how much I really hate when people say stuff like, he's just not that into you. And I like the phrase, if he wanted to, he would, but I also feel like it's simplistic because sometimes, you know, people are just complicated and they have a lot of really deep-seated motivations and weird reasoning and like childhood trauma and I don't know, generational trauma and like past life trauma, ancestral trauma, I mean, the whole thing. So, and sometimes, you know, maybe they acted really well. And anyway, we are going to go in and unravel all their reasoning, all the mentality behind it, whether it's positive or negative, whatever spirit wants to talk about on that track, we will be talking about. So let's get started, guys. I really love today's food items as well. I'm so excited for these. We have a selection of fried foods. They're kind of like fast food and I just think they're so fun. Like I love the cakes we usually do, but I saw these and I was just like, oh, this is so funny. It's so outside the box. So we are starting with this chicken wing, which is they are all so realistic. It literally looks like you could just dip it into like some blue cheese and just start eating. It looks so good. So yeah, if you guys feel drawn to the chicken wing, then this is the one to go with. And you can go with, if you want, you know, maybe you have like a deep-seated connection to like a food item. Like, I don't know why you'd feel super deep connected to chicken nuggets, but if that is like your spirit food, you have mad respect on my part. But maybe you're like obsessed with strawberries or something and spirit might give you a strawberry pull. But for the most part, you should go with whichever one you feel really drawn to. You know, just like you feel spirit tugging you to that pile. So not necessarily your favorite food, although it totally could be. Or if you have a super deep connection and you're like, I know my guides put that chicken drumstick in, then go with that. But for the most part, you're going with the one you're spiritually really drawn to, like a magnet. I always feel like it's the one that I feel like there's like a magnet drawing my eyes to. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to be quiet now and let you guys tune into the energy. Okay, you guys, so hopefully one is really sticking out to you now. Hopefully one is just calling your name. If not, feel free to pause and take a little more time, a few more moments to decide. But I am so excited to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hello, my lovely pile one. So I am so excited to do this reading for you guys. Can't wait to get into it. You guys picked the chicken wing, which I love chicken wings, so this is a great pick. You can see all the detail, like they really knocked these out of the park. These might be my favorite fake food that I got just because it's so realistic, and I love that someone's out here doing like just fake chicken wings. I don't know, it's just funny to me. So yeah, let's get right into your cards. I pre-pulled so we could move along quickly today. So let's get straight into it. We got the Queen of Cups, the Chariot, we got the Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Three of Pentacles, the Lovers reversed, the Ten of Swords, the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Wands reversed. So many reversals. First of all, the only upright one is the Chariot and the Three of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this is with the Queen of Cups reversed and the Knight of Cups, I feel like this person has a lot of blockages, also the Wands being blocked. I feel like this person has a lot of blockages, both in their emotional state and also in their like ability to take action. I almost feel like the vibe I'm getting is that this person didn't fully understand what was going on. Like, I feel like they had a lot of confusion, or they kind of took you for granted, or I want to say like they were very immature or unwise. Like, I feel like they didn't even fully understand what was happening. With the Lovers reversed, I do feel like this person and you guys had a deep connection, and that this person's feelings for you were very strong, but I still think they took you for granted. Like, I feel like at the time, maybe they thought, you know, oh yeah, I feel strongly for this person, but I'm sure I'll have a lot of other relationships like this, or like I'm young and I'll have another relationship, or you know, well, I'll feel this way in the future. And now it's kind of like they're having a Ten of Swords moment where they're like, oh, that was a big deal, and something like that is hard to find. Sometimes it takes you a while to realize that, you know, something goes down, and in the moment you're like, okay, well, you know, this is kind of interesting, and then only later you're like, whoa, that was a crazy event, or that was really meaningful to me. I didn't realize how kind of good I had it at the time. Like, I feel like a lot of people who are in a first love situation, a lot of times they don't get the fact that a lot of those feelings can last for a very long time. I mean, how many love songs and movies have been made about first love, you know? But I think the first time I fell in love as a teenager, I was just like, oh, well, I'm sure I'll feel this way in the future, and this is, I guess, what dating is like, you know? And I had no idea that those feelings took me a good, like, 7 years to get over, I want to say. So it really does last a long time. And I feel like this person, whether it was their first love or not, it was just one of those situations where they didn't like wake up. I feel like in a way, you know, they just kind of, they didn't realize what they had to do. Like, I feel like there's just almost a mental confusion. And also I feel like this person tries to kind of repress their emotions. I'm feeling like this person doesn't feel safe expressing their emotions. Maybe they grew up in a family, I'm feeling like this is true for a lot of them, that they grew up in a family where, you know, maybe they would make fun of their emotions, or maybe their parents would say like, well, don't cry, or you're not supposed to cry, or you're not supposed, or like, what a baby you are, you know? I mean, or maybe it wasn't the parents, maybe it was someone else, maybe it was the other kids, or it was just something that they picked up. But I feel like this person is very, I want to say, emotionally illiterate. You know, there is something called EQ, which is like IQ, but for emotional intelligence. And it has to do with how you process emotions, how you interact socially, and your level of intelligence there. And I honestly think this person might have a low EQ where they're not emotionally like aware. Like, I feel like in a way they didn't even know about their emotions, because that's how much they repress it. Like, I feel like they probably tried to push their emotions away a lot. I'm hearing that song from Hercules that I love, which is I Won't Say I'm in Love. That's like a low-key jam. I love that song. But I feel like that's what this person was doing. Like, they were blocking the love they felt because they didn't want to like go there. I feel like they feel very unsafe emotionally. They feel very unsafe expressing themselves in the emotional realm. So it was easier for them to just focus on other things. Like, it was just easier for them to kind of block it out. I feel like in a way, with the Chariot being one of the only upright cards, this person keeps themselves very busy and tries to constantly be having something to do. Maybe as a way to like distract themselves from what is actually going on. Can I get more clarifying cards, Spirit? I wasn't supposed to pull again, or I wasn't intending to, but I feel Spirit telling me to. Can I get another clarifying card? So we got the Knight of Wands reversed. One more clarifying card. Anything else? So a bunch of cards just fell out. We got the Ace of Cups upright. Where do I put this? This is such a small space. We got the Ace of Cups upright. So I feel like this is like the final destination where they ended up. And we're seeing these cards suddenly become upright. And it's so funny because we had the Queen of Cups reversed and we had the Wands reversed. And it ultimately ended up in the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, both upright. Isn't it funny when tarot just confirms, you know, and just is like, exactly, I said what I said. But so yeah, I feel like this person, so with the Three of Pentacles, that can be a card about learning. And I feel like in a way you've taught this person to access their emotions a lot more and also to access their action. Like they needed to take action. And I feel like this person, maybe they have a history of procrastination or not like handling things correctly. Like I feel like this person, the vibe I'm getting mentally is there's just, it's a mess. Like honestly, not to be harsh, but I feel like this person has a lot of confusion, has a lot of kind of just issues that they have to work through. And so I feel like ultimately what you taught them is how to do that. We also have the Seven of Pentacles. So that's a card about hard work, about doing the work, about putting in the work. And I feel like that's kind of what you helped them learn. Like, I feel like now they're a lot more disciplined because it took kind of losing you. And we also had the Knight of Wands reversed. So I think that's just confirmation. Like this person was really bad about the part where they had to reach out and kind of put in the work and move things forward. Like, I feel like this person, again, I'm getting almost like, I feel like I wouldn't describe them as this because I think that there's a lot of deep psychological motivation, but I feel like maybe an older person or a more judgmental person would call them lazy. Like, I feel like this person might spend a lot of time playing video games or spending a lot of time online just kind of tooling around. Obviously, you can spend time online very productively, or you can, you know, play video games and then you're putting in the work in all other areas of your life and then you're like, I need to relax, and you go play a video game and it's perfectly healthy. But I feel like this person was very much distracting themselves with these other kind of forms of entertainment, and this is one of the reasons why they weren't able to notice what was going on. You know how like it's almost like I want to shake them and be like, wake up, like this is important, you're missing this whole important part of life. I feel like this person just took for granted that they would feel this way for someone in the future, or that things would somehow work out. And it's almost like they had a hard time like dealing with their responsibilities or dealing with the stress. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if this person had ADHD or some executive functioning issues but like to an extreme level, because I have ADHD and, you know, it does come with difficulties like, you know, filling out paperwork or doing some of the boring stuff. But I feel like this is very extreme because this person truly, like, they really did care about you. With the Ace of Cups and the Lovers reverse, I feel like their feelings for you were very strong. And I don't feel like they felt this way for anyone before they met you. I really feel like for most of them, you were either a first love or it had been a while since their other love, and like their feelings for you were extremely strong and almost like made them feel alive again. In a way, I feel like that's what made them panic, because it was like, oh my God, like they weren't ready for it. They weren't expecting it. They weren't trying to manifest it. They weren't like hoping to fall in love. You know, they're just very complacent in their lifestyle. And then you kind of fell into their life and it was like, oh, whoa, I'm not ready for this. I'm not capable. And they just didn't know what to do kind of energy. So let's go into the other cards that I pre-pulled. We got Imagine reversed, Go the Distance reversed, Regeneration reversed, and Poise reversed. I swear, y'all, so many reversals, and I do not mess around with these cards. I don't know why I would even do that. So like, this is just spirit. They have very dysfunctional energy. Like, so many reversals like this just shows me that there are a lot of blockages and mental issues in their life. I feel like this person, like with Imagine reversed, I feel like, again, when I said they weren't manifesting you, I feel like it's something where like, I'm getting like, even in their wildest dreams, they could have never imagined someone like you coming into their life. And I'm also hearing that line from Conor McGregor. This is such a savage line, but where he says, he says like, I could change your bum life. I don't know, Spirit brings up the funniest things for me, but I feel like that's what this person is saying. Like they had like a bum life when they met you. Like they had, I'm getting like, they were almost, I wouldn't say they're depressed because I feel like they're very complacent, although some could be depressed. But I just feel like, again, I'm getting this idea of monotony. Like their days were the same. I feel like they would wake up, you know, maybe have a bowl of cereal, maybe nothing to eat, like maybe trudge off to school or work, come home, play video games, go on the computer, go to sleep. You know, there was nothing really that interesting about what they had going on. It wasn't like their life was full of interest, or, you know, a lot of times when you expect someone to be coming into a love relationship, you might expect them to be going out a lot or have a lot going on to bring in that kind of abundant energy. But I feel like this person was just kind of like chilling. Like they didn't really have that anything that special happening. And so they really never expected to get someone like you. And so when you came in, it was like, wait a minute, what? This is possible? Like I feel like this person didn't even imagine that someone like you would ever be interested in them, or that it would be a possibility for them to feel this deeply about someone. So I feel like they were just kind of shocked, you know, like it's kind of like if someone asked you randomly to compete in the Olympics, and you might be really excited to go to the Olympics, but you'd be like, I can't do this. I don't know how to, you know, do like gymnastics or whatever, like, or swim against like Michael Phelps. Like you would just like, you might be excited, but you're like, and I'm flattered that you asked me, but I'm not ready. I haven't been preparing. I haven't gotten myself in that mode. I'm not physically fit enough. I need to train for this for years. And I feel like this person, it was just like, you just fell into their life, like just out of nowhere is what I'm feeling. So with Go the Distance Reverse, again, this person just didn't have that kind of stamina, that attitude they needed to get that fire and the work ethic to pursue you in the way you deserved. That would have made this relationship happen, because I'm hearing this relationship could have happened. And, you know, it's almost like, I feel like what I'm hearing is your spirit guides brought you guys together. Like this really could have been a blessed connection. You know what I mean? It's not that forces were conspiring against you guys. It's not that like other people were trying to come in and break you guys up. This person like fumbled it. Like they fumbled the bag is what I'm hearing. Like I feel like this is like something where, you know how you'll see like a shot. I'm not into sports, so excuse me if I get the names wrong, but I feel like this will happen, and I'll see it in the news where like someone's in a football game and it's like a crucial Super Bowl football game or something, or like the World Cup. I think this happened recently in the World Cup. I don't know too much of the details, but I saw something about this, like where like it was the final shot and there were penalty kicks or something, and it was like lined up perfectly and the goalie missed it, or the shooter missed it. I don't know what happened. I just kind of glanced at a headline, but I feel like, you know, it's that kind of a situation where like everyone was like, oh my God, this is perfect. It's lined up, like the spirit guides, and then someone just fumbles it, like just ruins it. And everyone's like, oh my God, how could you mess this up? You know? And I feel like, yeah, this person, you guys, what I'm hearing is you guys could have been together, and you guys, it's not like spirit was keeping you guys apart for a reason or trying to separate you guys on purpose. Like it could have gone either way is what I'm hearing. Like a lot of times in these fated like lovers connections with the lovers card specifically, which means more of a deep love, soulmate type of love, you'll see them purposefully separated by spirit because they both had to learn something, or, you know, what, usually they had to learn something. That's usually the reason. But I'm hearing that you guys, spirit didn't separate you guys on purpose. This was not spirit. This was this person. And I feel like spirit kind of left it up to them, kind of like, you know, if you want this to work, we'll make it work for you. And that's one of the reasons why you kind of fell out of the sky. I keep hearing and seeing someone like plummeting down from the sky, like Alice in Wonderland style. Have you seen those images of her? Like, I guess she's falling down the rabbit hole, but like she just is falling. And that's what I'm seeing with you, is you just falling from the sky, like into this person's lap. Like, I feel like you guys must have met in some random way, or it was something where you guys were instantly patched together. Like you know, maybe neither one of you goes out that much, but you were like scheduled at the same work station, or, you know, assigned to sit next to each other in class or something. But I feel like this was a situation in which it wasn't like y'all were both out and dating. I mean, I could be wrong for some of you, so only take what resonates. Maybe some of you were on Tinder or something, but I'm just seeing this like it was a very easy situation. You know what I mean? I don't feel like what happened was, you know, you guys were both out at a club or a bar and this person had to muster up the courage to come out up to you and was like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And had to put on the charm, and you know what I mean? It like kind of had to work for it in that way. Like, I feel like you were just like planted into their life somehow, like randomly. And it was like they almost didn't have to work for it, because Spirit knew that they wouldn't be capable. Like, they probably would have never gone up to ask you out, because they would have been like, oh, this person won't be into me, or I don't have a chance with them. Like, I'm not going to try it. You know, that's how out of the idea of like romance this person was. And so, yeah, like I feel, I don't know why, I don't know what I was about to say, but, yeah, I'm going blank. So maybe Spirit doesn't want me to say it. I don't know. But yeah, this person, oh, so I feel like it could have, like Spirit kind of gave this person you as a gift in a way. I feel like almost like they just gave you it. Like, it wasn't something they earned or worked for. And Spirit was kind of like, hey, like, you want to do it or not? Like, we'll leave it up to you. We'll give you this gift, and then you can either take it and run with it or leave it. And this person like fumbled it. Like, I feel like they were just like, huh? Like, you know, it's like I'm seeing someone who's just given like randomly like one of those Publishers Clearinghouse checks for like $1 million. And it's like they just show up to their home. But I feel like this person, like those people, I don't know if they get called in advance or something, but they always are like dressed. Like I feel like if it happened to me, I'd like roll up in like, you know, pajama pants with like, I always put sunscreen on my face every day, and sometimes I just don't rub it in. Like, if I'm not going out, I'll just like dab on my zinc sunscreen. So I'd come out looking crazy with like sunscreen smeared over my face and like my hair up in a bun and being like, what the heck's going on? Like, you know what I mean? And that's like the equivalent of this person. Like they were not ready for this gift. They were not expecting it. No one gave them the heads up like, hey, go get dressed and get yourself ready and prepare. Publishers Clearinghouse is coming. So they just, you know, rolled out of bed, and then we're like, okay, I don't know what to do with this. And so, yeah, there's just that aspect of they could have made it work, but I just feel like they were so taken aback, shocked, and just didn't know what to do. And they hadn't worked on that discipline themselves with poise reverse and regeneration. Yeah. So this is interesting. Again, y'all, I am not making this up. Sometimes I think I should live shuffle, and if it didn't take so long and I wasn't such a clumsy shuffler, I would, but you guys got all reversals again. So we got third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. And let me know in the comments, you guys, if you prefer to see me shuffle or pre-pull, because I know some people feel strongly about wanting to see someone shuffle. I like shuffling on camera, but this goes faster. So if you guys have a preference, drop it in the comments and I will check to see, you know, who likes what. Because I always want to do whatever you guys like the most. So we got third chakra, Archangel Chamuel reversed, appreciation reversed, storm warning reversed, and attachment reversed. So it's interesting because Archangel Chamuel is the Archangel of love, and that one flew out. So I feel like it's like this person was very disconnected from their love energy, like with the Queen of Cups reversed and what was the other? Knight of Cups reversed. Again, I just feel like this person had a hard time like accessing their emotions, accessing the love. Like, I feel like, again, this person really doesn't have much experience in it. Even if they've dated or had a lot of other like relationships, again, I don't think their heart was fully involved. I feel like they just, you know, they may have dated, but you can date and not be emotionally invested. I've gone on dates with people that I was like, couldn't care less about them the next day. I was like, oh, that was fine, but, you know, didn't care about it all. And then I've also had people that I really cared about that, you know, took a long time to move to that stage of dating, and way before it ever happened, I was like, oh my God, my heart is in this. So you can date someone and not, you know, feel that strongly about them. And I feel like if that is the case with your person, that I do think that was the case. I feel like they may have had other relationships, but no one they felt strongly about like you. With appreciation reverse, again, I feel like there's this energy of almost taking you for granted a little bit. Again, I think this person really just felt like, oh, okay, like something like this will happen again. I feel like if they had been honest with themselves and really been able to meditate or check in with spirit, they would have known that their feelings for you were so strong. But there's a lot of energy of being in denial or just unconscious. Like, I feel like this person just tends to go through life this way, where it's not even like they were pushing back that hard against the love. I feel like in general, they have a hard time acknowledging, you know, their responsibilities, acknowledging stuff that makes them nervous. Like maybe they struggle with anxiety or something, but I feel like this person just has a hard time, you know, acknowledging like a stressful situation. Like I feel like if this person got called into interview for their dream job, you know, whatever they want, whatever company they would like love to work for, or dream job that they would love to have, if they somehow randomly got called up and they were like, hey, can you come in and do an interview? They would find a way to ruin that too. They'd show up for the interview maybe drunk, or like come in and, you know, just act weird, or just get super nervous. I feel like this person does a lot of unconscious sabotaging. Like it's almost like they are so terrified of rejection that they just kind of don't try, or they're like, you know, they have issues with procrastination, which I think sometimes comes from perfectionism, where you're like, you need it to be perfect so bad that you just kind of shut down. And I feel like that's what this person does. Like I feel like mentally they kind of shut down with you because you made them so nervous, and they just really didn't kind of know how to handle it. And then we have these cards, again, all reversals. And I swear, guys, I'm not making it up. That's just how the cards came out. We got choose love reversed. We got speak the language of love reversed. We got love makes the difference reversed. And we got have patience reversed. And finally, look to your inner strength reversed. So Spirit is really calling this person out with all these reversals. Spirit is not playing around with this person in the slightest. So yeah, this person was very dysfunctional. And a lot of these cards talk about, you know, being skilled in love, speaking the language of love. Love makes the difference. Choose love. Like, I just feel like this person is very, like I said, unskilled in the area of love. Like, they just don't know what it's like. Maybe they never had, like, the most supportive family or something, or maybe they just have never experienced deep romantic love. But again, it's just like they just didn't know what the heck they were doing. I feel like they never felt this strongly about anyone before, and they were just like, okay, like they didn't know, you know, what was going on. They could barely wrap their head around it. They were kind of like taken by surprise. I'm seeing someone like, this is a really weird image, but it's like, I'm seeing someone like standing around in a towel in their like room or something, and then like someone throws the door open and people rush in, and the person's just like, what's going on? Like totally taken by surprise. Like, so I feel like this person, there's this aspect of them being like caught unaware, and I keep hearing that caught unaware. It's like they just didn't expect it, didn't know what they were doing, and were just kind of clueless. Like, you know, the opening scene in The Big Lebowski where he's coming in to getting milk for his, what did he drink? His Black Russian, and, White Russian. And he's back with his groceries, and he's just kind of getting ready to have a quiet night. And then suddenly those random people like bust through the door and tackle him, and then drag him over to the bathroom and like give him a swirly. And he's just like, what the heck is going on? And he's like, I'm not even the right guy. And that's what I am like seeing. Like, I feel like this person was just so taken by surprise that they like didn't know what to do, and they were kind of bumbling and stumbling, and they're, you know, kind of incompetent when it comes to love. Also with look for your inner strength reversed. Like this person just wasn't that strong. I feel like you have learned to help them bring that out, with the final card being the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. This person has become stronger through being with you. Like this has taught them to bring out that side, because I feel like they needed that motivation, but just at the time, you know, they just weren't that good at it. So we also got Voyage, finally a non-reversal. We got Freedom reversed, Patience reversed, Openness reversed, Wisdom reversed, and Miracles reversed. Again, guys, I didn't mess around with these cards, so it's so funny how many reversals come out. I just, like, this is crazy. But yeah, this person, I feel like there is another card that has to do with patience that is reversed. I think it's going to come up later. I think I saw it when I was doing the pre-polls. So this person, like, it's like they didn't have the patience and the staying power and the willpower, you know? Like, again, I'm getting from Spirit that this person really could have made things work between y'all. Spirit and your higher selves would have totally supported you guys coming together in union and would have really been down for that. But I feel like this person just didn't have what it took to make things happen between you guys. You know, they just didn't have the staying power. They didn't have the willpower, the wisdom, all those things that you need. Like, yes, you need to have those emotions when it comes to love. You need to have the, you know, the desire, the sexual attraction, and all those things. But at the end of the day, to really make it work, you need patience, you need staying power, you need to, you know, be willing to put in the work and have those conversations that are sometimes difficult, or, you know, just really you need some more difficult life skills. And I feel like this person didn't have that. Also with Freedom reversed, I do feel like there's an aspect that this person really wanted to cling on to their freedom. I feel like at this time in their life, at least, maybe for some of them with the, you know, last cards we pulled, it might have changed, but at that time, I do feel like they were very attached to that lifestyle that I was mentioning, where they would just kind of, you know, come home from work, pull up on the couch, maybe pop some popcorn or make like an easy meal, play video games, chill out. Like, this person has a kind of lazy lifestyle, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were unemployed or just living a life that is not, it's not like they are in their like achiever energy, and they don't really have a lot of discipline. And I see that a lot in relationships that kind of never get off the ground, where, you know, I think that's why a lot of times a lot of women like successful men, is not just for the financial stuff, but because when you're in that energy where you are a go-getter and an achiever, a lot more aspects of your life run really smoothly. You know what I mean? If you like someone, you know what it's like to put in the work and to take it step by step and to be like, okay, I have to do this and then I have to do that. You know, for me, just thinking of me personally, my life kind of transformed when I really committed to like a routine. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, do this and have a really committed workout routine and eat a certain way, eat healthy. Like, it's not even just about that. It was for me about committing to something and about being willing to like work hard and work out even when I didn't feel like it. And, you know, just having that discipline can do a lot in your life. And I feel like this person just doesn't have any discipline. And we all go through stages, like I'm on vacation and I'm definitely drinking some wine and chilling out and, you know, relaxing. So, you know, we all have periods in our life when we're like, okay, I need to take it easy and relax, and I'm gonna watch movies this week and chill. And that's totally healthy. But I just feel like this person has way too much of that energy in their life. Like, they are just really taking it easy, really relaxing, and it's kind of like, excuse me, time to wake up, like get into gear. And so I feel like Spirit is just calling them out so hard in this reading with Wisdom. Wisdom reverse, Patience, like so many reversals. But and then Openness reverse. I also feel like this person just wasn't open. I keep getting, you know, they were taken by surprise. And I feel like this person had a very, like, again, they are very attached to their life. It's almost like they weren't even open to the idea of love, or they weren't, you know, they just weren't down. It was like they were like, but that means I won't be able to play video games every Saturday from, you know, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Probably not even those hours. Probably they wake up at like 1 p.m. and then play till 4 a.m. Like, it's just, they're very out of sync with like a disciplined lifestyle. And I'm a night owl, so I'm not trying to be like super mean to anyone who has odd hours or whatever. But I just feel like sometimes when you want a relationship or you want some kind of abundance of some kind in your life, like there's the aspect of, you know, manifesting it in like a dreamy way. But then I always say manifesting is not just, you know, doing a moon ritual or making a vision board. It is definitely that, but manifesting is also waking up at a certain time if you need to, you know, and, you know, having a protein shake in the morning and getting to work and putting in that work. And of course that can look differently for everyone. Not everyone, I mean, for me, I have moon in the 6th house. I need to kind of like eat healthy to feel really good. Not everyone is that way. Some people can, you know, eat a little differently and they still feel great and good for them. So not trying to shame anyone who has a lifestyle where maybe they're a little more relaxed. I just feel like this person had a little bit of an unbalance, and in their life, I think this is one of the reasons that they just didn't know how to make this happen. In the same way, I think so many aspects of their life, they wouldn't know how to make things happen because they're very like dysfunctional. Not trying to be harsh, but that's the word that comes to mind. So, and with so many reversals, like you really wouldn't see this many reversals unless there was some dysfunction. And there's more reversals. Like, I mean, it's crazy actually. So we got 5 of Cups, we got the Moon reverse, 5 of Cups is reversed. We got the 6 of Wands, finally upright, 2 of Swords, also upright, and the 7 of Wands reverse. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, this person, you know, I feel like now they have experienced a lot of heartbreak from this. Like with the 2 of Swords, I definitely feel like it has, you know, really weighed on them. And I do feel like at the time they were struggling with deciding over this choice. Like and again, I keep hearing from Spirit that it could have gone either way. Like, I feel like it really was up to them. And Spirit was like, okay, just you decide, you know, and if you want to make this work and put in the work, we will make this relationship happen. I'm hearing that Spirit is the one that brought you guys together, because again, I do feel like you guys met, I don't know how to describe it, but like either randomly or you just kind of popped into their life. Like, it wasn't the kind of thing where you were out at a club and like they went out of their way to come up to you and approach you, or they slid into your DMs, or they worked hard for you, because I don't feel like this person is in that energy in general. I feel like you guys got like brought together, if that makes sense. And that was Spirit, is what I'm hearing, is Spirit is the one that connected you guys in that way. And so Spirit was like, yeah, if you want to make it work, if you want to make it happen, we will. But so they were they could have gone either way. And I feel like there was a big part of them that felt drawn to you and wanted to work hard on this and make things happen. But I really just think this person is not in that energy in general in their life, or was not at the time. They may have issues. Like I said, I would be very surprised if this person was, you know, maybe they like inherited a business, or someone gave them a high up job, like their dad owns the company and then they, you know, got assigned position of vice president or something. But I do not think this person is like doing gangbusters at their job where they are just excelling an employee of the month every month. Like, unless something really bizarre and nepotistic, is that a word? I don't think so, but like nepotism issue is going on, I don't think this person is going to be like hustling that much and doing super well. I would just be very surprised, because their energy really does not support that. Obviously, sometimes random things happen to random people, but it just is not the energy I'm picking up on at all. And so it's almost like you guys shouldn't take it personally, because I feel like this person fumbles a lot of stuff in their life. With the 6 of Wands, I do feel like this person, it's like they just didn't feel kind of up to the competition. Like, they perceived that they would have to work hard on this and step up to the plate, and they just didn't want to do that. They just didn't feel like they could do it. They were very like, I don't know how to do this. And I feel like they just they just don't have that fiery energy of like, I am willing to put in the work and I can do this and I'm going to get what I want. Like they just don't have that at all. And the 7 of Wands reversed, like I just feel like this person, they perceive that being with you, they would have to step up to the plate, that there would be competition and all those things that kind of naturally happen in a relationship. You know, someone else maybe gets interested in your boyfriend or your girlfriend and you maybe have to like be like, wait, what's going on? And, you know, sort through that or whatever. And this person is just like, they were like, too much work. That's what I'm hearing in my mind, is just like, that'd be way too much work. And so, yeah, I feel like this person, you know, now with the 5 of Cups reversed, I think there was a lot of regret. And now they kind of realize like, but they didn't expect to regret it. I think they just were moving through their life very tunnel vision, very like paying attention to their comfort. Like, is my video game available? Okay, then I'm good, you know, kind of a thing. And it's almost like they couldn't see you. They couldn't perceive what was going on. And I think that goes for a lot of things in their life. Also with the moon reverse, they're very broken off from their intuition. And we've seen so much of Cups reverse. I just feel like this person is not connected to spirit and kind of blocking spirit. So we also got rest and rejuvenation reversed, material and spiritual prosperity, power reversed, heart chakra reversed, and financial and material changes. So with heart chakra reversed, it makes perfect sense because I believe Chamuel rules the heart, and now we have the heart chakra reversed again. And so this person has a very hard time like connecting to their emotions. And we had so much water reversed. This person has a really hard time, and moon reversed, sorry, but there's so many cards that say the same thing. This person has a really hard time connecting to their emotions. I feel like sometimes they're just so broken off and distracted. They're just so focused on like, you know, I keep getting their video games or their computer or whatever, but it's like they're very not present in the moment. You know what I mean? They're not fully aware of even what's going on around them. Like they are very focused on kind of like alternate reality and, you know, what makes them feel good in that moment, but not being really grounded and rooted in the actual moment and able to take it in. You know what I mean? So they're very like temporary thinkers. And so I just feel like this person has a lot of blocks there, and it's, you know, kind of a problem. Then with power reverse, again, this person, like I've said a million times, they're just not in their power. They don't have that fire, that pursuing energy, or that earth energy that will, you know, go after something and take what they want and be very strong. This person just does not have it. I feel like in a way rest and rejuvenate is reversed and is here because this person, while this card usually talks about the need to rest and rejuvenate, with it reverse, I think this person, it's like they have a very like lazy lifestyle is what I keep getting. It's like a sloth. Like they just do what makes them feel good, and it's like there's no discipline. There's no discipline to be found. I do feel like, yeah, this person, like they probably sleep in, they do whatever is very comfortable for them. They might eat really unhealthy foods. It's just easy, you know, it's like there's just not a lot of discipline. They might smoke a lot of weed or drink too much or something, but they're very much like almost like not paying attention to reality. So with material and spiritual prosperity and financial and material changes, you know, honestly, those cards, I'm kind of like, what are they doing here? But with the final positive cards we got, I do feel like this person is making some changes in their life where they are starting to move into a more positive place. And I'm getting that a lot of that was your influence. Like, I feel like this person, even though Spirit didn't organize this as a lesson, and Spirit was cool with it working out or going either way, I feel like it did turn into a lesson for this person. So even though Spirit wasn't like deliberately bringing this in to teach this person something, and they kind of turned it into that. They're like, okay, so you're gonna fumble it, okay, so it's gonna be a lesson then. You know, they let them decide, but now it has turned into a lesson for them. And I think they have learned that they need to access their power more. They need to take responsibility. Maybe this person has started like a workout routine or a healthy eating routine, or they're starting to wake up earlier, or they're putting away their video games, or putting away, you know, some adult material material they might watch too much, like, because that can be really destructive as well. But I feel like this person was in a very complacent state, and now they might be starting to move out of it. So there is the possibility that you guys might be able to come together in union again in the future, because I do think this person is trying to make steps in that direction to become a more disciplined person. So, you know, ultimately there is kind of a happy ending with this, but I do feel like you guys deserve someone who is really going to know how to handle you and really put in that effort. And this might be this person. I mean, maybe they will learn to come correct and to come towards you with the level of effort that you guys deserve. So we'll have to see. But just speaking of where this person used to be, they definitely needed to step it up and to learn. And I'm glad that they're on that track. But I wouldn't take it personally, because I do feel like this person, they really did care about you, but they are just very focused on their own comfort. So I don't think anything could have really incentivized them to act right. And you have been that incentive for them. But I think it took a lot of time and reflection to kind of finally admit reality, because a lot of times when a person is living like this, where they're just kind of constantly amusing themselves, constantly distracting themselves with TV or movies or video games or the computer or whatever, it's like they're not even capable of looking at reality. You know, they're just so caught up in wanting to remove themselves from reality. So yeah, I see that a lot in a lot of young people today. So I think this is kind of a very typical situation when someone doesn't put the effort in. I'm not surprised that something like this would come up, because I do think it's an epidemic of people just kind of not really taking stock of their lives as much. You know, we only get one life. We might as well try to live it as much as we can and squeeze every drop out that we can. But sometimes it's easier to distract and go into like an alternate reality. So I really hope that resonated, you guys. Please let me know if it did in the comments. I really love hearing your stories and opinions. So please let me know if it resonated. And also if you have any ideas about pre-polls, or if you like the live polls or pre-polls, I'm down for whichever. So just let me know, you guys. Thank you so much for watching my reading. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hello, my little chicken nuggets. You guys have such a cute one that you picked. I love this chicken nugget. It's so cute, and they really just, I feel like they outdid themselves with this. Whoever made these, I was kind of nervous buying it because it had no reviews on Amazon. I was like, am I gonna get like a total scam? But it was so good. They did a great job, and chicken nuggets are obviously delicious. Who doesn't like chicken nuggets? So hopefully you guys will have an extra tasty reading today. So I pre-pulled your cards. Let's get straight into it, guys. We got the Nine of Swords. We got the Page of Swords, we got the Eight of Cups reversed, the Knight of Wands, the Six of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Tower, the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and finally the Six of Wands. So first of all, wow to the Lovers, the Two of Cups, and the Six of Cups. This person had very strong feelings for you. I actually think they really just channeling their emotions. Like, I feel like this person just, I keep hearing they really liked you. And I feel like they're saying liked in a sense of like, almost like a little kid on the playground, you know, and they'll be like, do you Ben, or do you like Clarissa, or whatever? Like, you know how like in that sense is like a crush, kind of like a childhood crush. You know, when you grow up, you don't really ask your friends like, but do you like him? You know, you say like, when you're having brunch and you're asking about like the guy they're seeing or they're into, you're like, so are you into him, or do you see a long-term future? But you don't really say anymore like, do you like him, or do you like her? And so I feel like this person, I keep hearing they really liked you. And it's almost like I'm getting the image of like a little kid with a crush, like giggling, you know what I mean? And like giving a girl a flower or something. I mean, you can see it in this. It is the Six of Cups energy of like a childhood crush energy. But I feel like for some of you, might have known this person when you were younger, but for some of you, I feel like you met them a little bit older. I'm not saying like super old, but maybe like it wasn't like you were a child anymore, but you just you bring out that feeling in this person, whatever your age, you know, you bring out that feeling of like almost first love or childhood crush, or like I guess the vibe I'm getting is like, you know, when you have a crush when you're like a kid or in middle school or whatever, or in high school, if you're immature like me, when you like them, you kind of like get nervous when they come around, you know, and you kind of like giggle like with your friends, like, oh my God, they're coming this way. And it's like you get excited when they enter the room, and you know, there's like this giddy young energy to it that I think for most of us, kind of, not to be depressing, but like kind of goes away a little bit when you grow up, where you're just, even like the crushes that I've had where I've been really into the person, it just doesn't have that same like giddy young feeling. But I feel like that's how this person felt about you. It's very specific, because again, I don't think every person who has a crush or even feels strongly about a person or is really into them feels that, like, I just keep getting this giddy, like giggling, excited feeling. Like, I feel like they were just excited to see you and run into you. And it's like you made them feel almost like a kid again. And they were nervous around you, and they really, really liked you. I keep getting that they liked you in the sense of like, you know how I don't know if it was just in my friend group, but we would ask like, do you like them? And then we'd be like, well, do you like them? And so I feel like this person liked you. Like, I don't know, it's very like middle school vibes, like waiting outside the movie theater with the popcorn, trying to like look cool and waiting for them to pass by, and then being like, oh, hey Ben, what are you doing? You know, with like your lip gloss on. That's the vibe I'm getting, like this image of, and this feeling of just like young crush. So it's actually really sweet to tune into this energy, and I can feel them and their higher self coming in so strongly in this reading. So I know it's going to be a very powerful one, because they have a lot to say and they're being very specific, which we love. We love when they come in like with that loudspeaker broadcasting strongly. Thank you for that. So they really have a lot to tell you, and whenever someone comes in so strong like that, I always know that they cared a lot, because otherwise their spirits, you know, guides, or they're just not going to bother to come down and to channel, because it's kind of a connection you have to make on both sides, on my side and on their side. So their spirit guides have to be like, okay, it's worth the effort. So you are a very important person in this person's life. And with the 9 of Swords and also the 8 of Swords reversed and the Tower, I do feel like there must have been some kind of a loss, because this person is feeling down about it. I mean, very negative cards, and then we have super lover cards. So it's kind of an interesting combination. I wasn't sure, like, I was like, did this work out? Did it not? But with the Tower, I think that confirms that for many of you, you guys might be in separation, or it didn't work out the way this person had been hoping for. So I feel like it's really interesting with the Knight of Wands reversed and with the 6 of Wands reversed. I feel like there was some kind of, first of all, with the Page of Swords, I feel like this person, they wanted to communicate to you. That's what they're telling me. They really wanted to say something to you. In fact, I feel like there was something very specific they wanted to say to you. What did you want to say to them? What did you guys want to say to them? They wanted to tell you how much they cared about you. Like, they feel like you guys are amazing. They're wanting you to know how special you guys are. Like, there is something so special about you. And they're telling me about the sparkle in your eyes. Like, you guys, I just don't know. I feel like you guys have this energy or zest for life. I feel like some of you have a very young energy. You might have Mercury prominent in your chart, like Mercury conjunct the ascendant, or Mercury conjunct your sun, or Mercury conjunct Jupiter, but Mercury often gives like a young, playful energy, or a prominent sun. It could have been, you know, a bunch of different astrological combinations, but I just feel like you guys have this zest for life. And that's what this person is talking about with this sparkle in your eyes. Like, you make this person feel young again because you have this youthful, energetic energy. And it's like this person just loved being around you. You could also have a very prominent sun energy is what I'm getting, because I feel like this person feels that you're so warm and you give them energy. And the source of energy is the sun. So some of you guys might be Leos or Leo ascendant, moons, or just having a very prominent sun, maybe conjunct your ascendant or in the first house, or, you know, wherever. But but this person is just saying that you bring so much to them and they love being around you. Like they get a kick out of you. I feel like you guys might be fun, the life of the party, or just funny, or you guys have a great sense of humor or something. Because I just feel like this person, it's almost like the energy is like laughing or just joyfulness. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like this person really wanted to communicate that to you. Is there anything else that you guys know? Okay, so that's it for that. But this person, I feel like for a lot of you guys, there was a block with them putting it into action with the Knight of Wands reversed. And so maybe they never stepped forward and fully told you all of that. Maybe they just kind of kept that inside for some of you, where it was like they meant to, I feel like a lot of them intended to tell you this stuff. Like it wasn't even like, sometimes when we have a blocked Page of Swords or Knight of Swords, it's like they can't verbalize it for whatever reason, or they are afraid to, or whatever. This person really actively wanted to. I feel like this person wanted to let you know how much you care about them, or how much they care about you. For some of you, this person might have stepped forward and actually told you, because it is upright. So for some of you, this person may have communicated that to you. They may have told you something like, you're so special, or like, you're perfect to me, or something, or you were like, oh, whoa, okay, I didn't know you felt like that. Like, that's kind of a lot. Like, and you might have gotten a glimpse of how much they did care about you. But for others with the Knight of Wands reversed, I feel like they never fully stepped forward and let you know. And I feel like that could have been to circumstances or other situations. I don't really know for sure. So with the Six of Wands reversed, I feel like there's some aspect of this being public that's blocked. And I'll be honest, I already pre-pulled your other card, so I kind of have a glimpse of that. And I'll just say that I feel like I'm like getting ahead of myself. This is something that happens when you pre-pull, is like you kind of already know like more of the story because of the other cards. But I'll just cut to the chase that I do feel like this person was worried about perception. So they may have been, this card is really about like publicity and like a public display, I guess. Like this guy is traveling through a crowd and they're all cheering him on. And with it reversed and looking at some of the other cards, it makes me think this person was concerned about how others would perceive the situation. So we're going to get more into that. I don't want to completely rush ahead. And it's better when I can actually see the cards because I don't remember all of them. But we'll get into it. So let's start getting into some of the other cards. Okay, so we got express love through gifts, practice compassion, be authentic reversed, miracles and blessings, and listen with your heart. So again, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I just got such strong images from some of the other cards. I don't remember all of them. But I do feel like we had multiple cards that came up that had to do with this person being worried about how others would perceive things. And this person being concerned with, like, I don't know, other people's opinions of the relationship. So with Be Authentic reverse, I feel like part of the reason that it might not have worked out and this tower moment happened for them is that, because I feel like more of these cards have to do with this person going through a tower moment by the fact that you guys didn't end up together. So if you're worried, if you're wondering if they are upset about not having you in their life, the answer is definitely yes. For some of you, you guys might be in union with this person. It might be like, sometimes I get people who pull for these and they're married to the person, you know, and this would be a great pile for that because I feel like the feelings are so pure that it could have worked out. But I definitely feel for the majority of you, you guys would be in separation with the Tower and the Nine of Swords. Yeah. So, and we had, I thought we had one of the, oh yeah, and with the Eight of Cups. So I do feel like with Be Authentic reverse, if you guys are in separation, I do feel like a big reason for that would be because this person is not necessarily as rooted in their identity. Like I feel like their feelings for you were so strong, but there is still a part of them that worries very much about what other people think. Maybe they were worried about being called a simp or like being whipped or other terms, you know, that are kind of like degrading or derogatory, I guess. And so I feel like this person, it's like that might have been part of the reason why they didn't step forward like they wanted to, is that there was some issue with them being afraid of other people judging for whatever reason, which is really interesting because with the level of love they have, I really don't know why they would be afraid of that. And you guys seem like you guys are so fun that I'm just like, why would anyone be embarrassed? Or I don't know. It's just a little strange to me. But we have so many upright cards about love. And if you saw pile one, you would know they had like all reversals. It was actually crazy. Y'all have mostly upright cards with the authentic one being the exception. So I feel like for them, you know, there's so many cards that have to do with the heart, with love. You really opened, I feel like, a portal in this person's heart where they had never accessed this level of emotions before. They had never felt so strongly about anyone. And again, it's like a childhood crush. It's like, oh my God, I didn't even know I could feel this way. I didn't know I could spend every moment looking forward to someone and thinking about them, and, you know, and not in a negative, obsessive, like desperate way, which sometimes comes up when someone is so into someone, is it's almost like they're desperate for them. They're like going crazy. But this was just very positive. It's a beautiful energy. Like, it's like it gave them a reason to hop out of bed in the morning and to like get excited. You know, when you wake out of bed and you're just so excited to start your day and you're like, yay, the sun's shining. I can't wait to have my oatmeal or whatever you eat for breakfast. Like, I can't wait to have my eggs. I'm so excited. And you're just in a great mood. You're just in a dope mood and you're just feeling good. I feel like that's how this person felt about you. Like, you just really brought out this joy in them. You know what I mean? You made like life more fun, more zesty, more interesting. So there's only positivity that came out of this. And I feel like this person, they're saying that this was a huge blessing to them. Like, it brought them so much happiness, joy, and I'm hearing that it raised their vibration in a very powerful, spiritually powerful way. So their higher self is kind of acknowledging that even if you guys, like, I feel like you guys got good karma for this, because anytime you raise people's vibrations, especially in a really powerful way, like, it's one thing to raise someone's vibration by like a degree, but y'all raise it by like 100, you know, you guys like shot it through the roof. So this person's vibration went up to the ceiling, and so their higher self is like thanking you for that and also acknowledging that you guys got good karma from that. So that's kind of nice to know. So let's get into some of the other cards because I pulled a lot. We got freedom reverse, simplicity reverse, leadership reverse, security, and diligence. So yeah, okay, so this is kind of the cards we were getting into. I remember these where I'm getting a vibe that this person like was worried about what other people thought. With leadership reversed, I do feel like there's an aspect of this person not being fully secure in their identity. Like, I feel like maybe they are part of a social group or something. I don't want to say they're a follower, but kind of. I feel like this person doesn't feel bold enough to step out on their own. You know, I feel like this is what was kind of sending me for a loop. I don't understand why anyone would be in any way embarrassed to be with y'all. Like, I feel like you guys just seem like you guys are like the most fun, like vibrant. I feel like a lot of people would have a crush on you, or like just reading your energy, I feel like you have such a positive vibe to you that a lot of people would have a crush on you or be into you or want to be around you. Like, some of you might be popular, or if you're not popular, I still feel like people would like you, you know, and people would be like, oh, sweet, like this person's coming into the room. Like, that you just guys have a good vibe, you know, and you probably don't have that much trouble getting romantic partners because I feel like you just bring so much fun to the table. And I do wonder if for some of them, there might have been someone else who was like jealous of your connection in their group. So it could have been like they were in a group of friends and maybe the leader of that group had a crush on you. Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Can you guys tell me? They're saying something like that happened. So I feel like maybe someone in their group or someone that they know, or they were very aware that you were desirable and maybe multiple people had a crush on you or something and they didn't want that kind of heat. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you date, like, the hottest guy or the hottest girl or whatever, you are going to have jealousy. You're going to have random people be nasty to you, and not everyone can handle that or wants to handle that. You know what I mean? That is a lot to take on energetically, having like people glare at you and being like, oh, why are they together? And that is going to happen when you guys have like, this is a beautiful relationship. I feel like you guys would be the couple that people would stare at in the cafe and be like, oh my God, like they're so cute together. Maybe you guys are both very attractive, because I feel like you guys would attract this kind of public attention. Also, I think because of the strength of your connection, like with this strong Six of Cups energy and this beautiful spark you guys have, I feel like this is one of those relationships where everyone would be staring at you and everyone would be like, oh my God, like, you know how like sometimes like two celebrities will link up and they'll be dating and no one really cares and everyone's like, oh, okay, they're dating, I guess, whatever. And then randomly like two celebrities will link up that might not even be that famous, and everyone is like, what are they doing? Where are they going? Taking photos of them out, and like it's like always like a top story online. And the reason why a lot of times that happens is because people can sense that kind of soulmate energy, or that the depth of this connection, that the feelings are really intense. And so two people could be married and it's like, it's not the same, you know what I mean? Or two couples could be married and maybe one is together and they're like nice and maybe they get along or whatever, but there's not really that intensity of emotion and that deep spark. And you know, so a lot of times that's what people call as kind of soulmates. It's like an energy explanation for that intense, oh, I don't know why I just choked on my word, that intensity of connection. So sorry guys, I had to take a sip of water. I'm getting so ahead of myself with this reading and like choking over my words because I have so much to say, and I'm channeling so hard with this person that's coming through, because their higher self is like talking a mile a minute to me and just really has so much to say. So I'm kind of joking, but trying to get it all out for you guys because I love this connection. But so yeah, I feel like it's like you guys, you know how there's just couples that everyone seems to be so fascinated by, and it's like they want to know everything. And then, you know, you might have another celebrity couple that comes out that everyone's just like, okay, no one really cares. You know what I mean? No one's really interested, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess they're dating, whatever, you know, and just no one really wants to know what they have going on, because people, whether they are, you know, identifying as psychic or whether they hate metaphysical stuff and they think it's lame, but deep down inside, our intuition picks up on so much of those vibes. Like I'm thinking of myself when I had like this class, this like boring math class in college, and we had like seating that was mostly, I don't think it was actually assigned, but everyone always sat in the same places, and I just randomly picked this row. I didn't really know anyone in that class, and there was this guy and girl in front of me, and I didn't really like notice or pay attention to them at first, and then I noticed they would like talk and stuff, and I just started getting this like energetic vibe, and then I was kind of not like totally listening in, but I'd start like paying attention, and they'd always be like, so are you going to like Ben's party? And then the girl would be like, I mean, I don't know, I might swing by, but blah, blah, blah. And I could just tell that they liked each other so bad. And so I started like paying attention. And I think by the end of the semester, they were like matched up. But it was honestly so cute to watch. And I was trying not to be a total creep, but like you can really tell when people have a vibe. Like you don't have to be officially together. You can tell when people are shooting each other glances and staring at each other. And every time they talk, and all they might be asking is like, oh, so are you getting coffee? But the way they ask, you're like, oh my God, they're dating, they're into each other. Like it just comes across with that intense sexual, romantic love energy. And so I feel like that's what was going on here to a certain extent, is like other people might have picked up on your energy and might have known that you guys were linked. And a lot of people might not have liked that because they might have had a crush on you, and they might have somehow communicated it to this person in some way. They might not have come straight out. I mean, probably likely they wouldn't have come straight out and been like, listen, I'm extremely jealous, I want them to myself. But people have different ways of throwing a wrench into things and sabotaging things. So they very well might have said something like, well, you know, she's really lame, or like, well, I heard she's dating all over town. So, you know, don't get excited. Or they might have been like, you're hanging out with her, dude, that's so lame. Or like they might have even said like, you know, I had a crush on her, that's not cool, man, you know. Or, you know, I had a crush on him, you are a betrayer, or something. Like they might have mentioned to them that they did have feelings for you or something, but I feel like there was something conveyed that basically implied that they weren't cool with you guys dating. And this person sadly listened. And, you know, that's probably why freedom is reversed, is because it's like they were kind of trapped by this person. I also feel like for some, it might not have been this specific scenario, but again, like so many people have psychic senses that they might not even be aware that they are psychically picking up on this stuff. But I feel like this person probably knew that you had a lot of attention on you, that you had a lot of people into you, and they knew that dating you would bring that resentment, that heat. You know, maybe they noticed when they would talk to you or hang out with you or chat with you that other people were looking at you guys and kind of glaring, and they could just feel that negative energy. You know, they could just feel that kind of like, you know, I remember with one of my exes, I'm seeing this image where like we went to a party together and I was standing there with a drink, and literally this girl came up and just full on like shoulder body checked me, and I like flew like 3 feet. Luckily I didn't like fall on my face, but I was like, what the heck was that? And I remember the guy at the time was so mad and he was like so angry. And I was like, well, like, I don't like it when a guy beefs with girls. Like, to me, I'm just like, just drop it. And I don't really care. Like, whatever. I don't know this chick. But I kind of later, like, pieced it together where I do think she had a really big crush on him. And, you know, she was jealous or whatever. And I feel like that's the image I'm seeing, is like you guys provoked that kind of jealousy. And like whether, like, I wasn't aware that she was about to come over and shoulder check me. I didn't really feel the vibe. I was like focused on him, and you know, whenever we were hanging out, it felt like we were the only ones, kind of. So I was like tuned into his energy. And in retrospect, I can be like, oh, wow, there was a lot of jealousy directed at that because I guess she had a crush on him, you know? And so that's the thing. I feel like this person was aware that that you bring in this attention, and a lot of people would have liked to date you, and you might not have been aware of like the glares or the weird vibe. Like I remember at the time when that happened, I really just thought like she was like a drunk girl that had accidentally stumbled into me. And I didn't even realize, like, I was like, why is he so upset about her bumping into me? I mean, like, it's a party, it's crowded, like, she probably stumbled. And I only realized later that they knew each other and that she was, you know, connected to him. And that's why he was so mad, is because he knew she did it on purpose and she liked him and whatever. So my point is to talk about all that is, you might not have even been aware of the people who were glaring or jealous, and yet this person was. You might have been like, oh, everyone's cool with it, but this person could tell, and they picked up on the negative energy being directed your way, and they like couldn't handle it, you know? Like I was like, I don't care if she's jealous, but this person did. This person was not okay with losing that status, I think. Like they were about the security. They wanted that secure feeling in the, you know, society or like group that you guys were in, the community that you guys were in. So they weren't okay with knowing that being with you would mean all that jealousy. So we got walking away reversed, community reversed, appreciation reversed, and carrying connections. So again, just confirmation that this person had really deep feelings for you. With community reversed, again, I think that's talking about the jealousy, that this person picked kind of community and other people over you. And I feel like the community somehow, so again, I'm talking like, for some of you, it could have been like a family, but I just feel like someone meddled in this. And I do feel like a lot of it could have been motivated by jealousy for the people around them. It could have even been like a jealous brother, jealous parents even, that didn't want to see, because again, this happens when someone has a really strong connection, is people get all kind of bent out of shape over it. And they're like, why does that person get to have like the love story from The Notebook? And I'm over here with my like janky relationship, you know, with this loser, and that person is over there living like a dream romance novel love. Like, how did that happen? That's not fair. So they get mad when they see two people vibing like this with such a deep connection. It provokes all this jealousy and rage. And I've seen it happen so many times. And that's why a lot of times you will see soulmate couples get broken up by other people that like meddle, because they can't stand seeing someone have this kind of depth of connection, because it is rare. So we also got the Tower again. We got the Queen of Cups reversed. We got the Sun reversed. The Two of Wands. We got Judgment reversed. The Fool. The Six of Cups. And finally, the King of Swords reversed. So again, this person, I'm just getting so much jealousy vibes. Like, this card is so X-rated, but maybe I can block it out. I don't even know if I can. I'm not going to block it out, but it's too much. I love this deck, but it is racy, obviously. So you guys, I feel like this person really was, this depicts a scene of jealousy, and I do feel like this person was very concerned with what other people think, and other people sabotaged and meddled in this relationship, and Spirit just really wants to have that confirmed really strongly, that, you know, this person, I feel like they let other people get the better of them, and they weren't strongly rooted in their identity. You know what I mean? It could have even been a situation where like one of their friends confessed to having a big crush on you, and then they, you know, and then they gave in, or they were like, okay, I don't know how to handle this, you know. Yeah, like sometimes you'll see that happen where, like, you know, someone really likes someone, but they'll give their phone number to, you know, the friend that said they had a crush on him. Like, it's really bizarre. I had that happen to me once, where I broke up with someone and then they texted me like, well, my friend has a big crush on you, would you want to date them? And I was like, what are you doing? Like, it's so bizarre, because I knew they still had feelings for me. So I was just like, what kind of weird play is this? But I think that happens sometimes when someone is not strongly rooted in their identity, and they are, you know, very concerned with what other people think, and they're trying to they're more concerned with approval for others, or they're trying to save face, or maybe their friends ragged on them like, you are so whipped, and then they want to prove like, I'm not whipped, look, you can have their phone number. You know what I mean? So there's so many times when other community members or friends or family can get in someone's head and really mess around with that, because when you deal with a soulmate deep love like this, it's a lot, and it can really transform someone's energy and take a lot of attention away from their friends, take a lot of focus, you know. And so it's like a lot of people are not okay with that, and they get angry again. So this person with the Fool, I feel like they're just acknowledging that they were really an idiot. And also with Judgment reversed, like I feel like this person, you know, they're just saying that they had really bad judgment. They just really made a mistake. Also with the Sun reverse, I feel like this person, they knew that this could have so much potential. I mean, the Sun is such a positive card that really is so much about destiny, and it's just such a beautiful energy. And I feel like this person, it's like they are acknowledging that this really could have been something great, and really could have been so meaningful and amazing for both of you, and that they really messed it up. And with the King of Swords reverse, again, I feel like the communication is lacking on their part. I feel like a lot of times, even if this person, you had glimpses or inklings of how much they cared about you, they never fully like laid it on the table. A lot of them, like, I don't know, like I feel like some of them might have come forward in some way and let you know how much they cared, but I don't know that they fully leaned into it and were like, I'm in love, you know, like I really am in love. You might have gotten a glimpse of like, damn, that seems like an intense compliment. Like, you know, like how sometimes someone will give you a compliment and it could just be a normal thing, like, well, you have an amazing smile, but instead they say it like, well, you have an amazing smile or something, and you're like, okay, thank you. But that's a lot of emotion. Like, I feel like that's what, maybe something like that happened where you're like, okay, that sounds normal, but I feel like your emotions are pretty strong here. But I feel like they never fully like came forward with the intensity of their feelings, which makes sense because it's pretty strong. And I mean, this would be a lot to tell someone unless you were in like an extremely committed relationship. Like, this is just a lot. So yeah, this person person with the Six of Cups, they're just acknowledging that they really do feel, you know, like a strong, I mean, that came out in the other reading. This person really did care about you. Sorry guys, I had to get another drink of water. I don't know what is going on today, or for this reading in particular, because I was fine in pile 1. I do feel like, again, this is confirmation from spirit that like really their communication was a little bit off and they didn't fully communicate the way they should have. But with the Queen of Cups reversed, I do feel like this person is just saying that they didn't honor you the way you deserve, that you guys are such a beautiful energy, and they want you to know that like the way they treated you was not what you guys deserve. They see you as being so perfect and amazing, and they're kind of ashamed that they like bungled it. And I think that's why they're coming in so strongly, and they're like, presence is so strong, is because they want you to know how amazing you are, and that they messed things up because of their own mistakes and errors, and they definitely paid for it and regretted it, and they feel like they made the wrong choice with the Two of Wands. So we also got triumphant success reversed, we got sacrifice reversed, we got deception and envy. Okay, like we were talking about envy, patience and planning reversed, foundations and achievements reversed, and partnerships and alliances reversed. A lot of reversals here. So again, there was a lot of envy directed at you guys that I feel like you might not have even been aware of. Like you might have been like, what the heck is this? Like, how did this not work out? I feel this connection so strong from this person. And I feel like there was stuff going on behind the scenes that you weren't aware about that put a lot of pressure on this person that had to do with envy, like that was directed towards this other person. I feel like you might not have been aware of it, and it might have been more complicated than I'm even kind of able to get into in a reading, because a lot of times, you know, most people who are envious, they don't come forward and say like, listen, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really envious. Instead, they say like, well, that's really stupid, or I really think that's lame, or you're making a fool of yourself, or whatever. They are going to use like psychological tactics. And I just feel like someone got into this person's head and they're really regretting that. Like, I feel like this is one of those times, you know, when you ever do something stupid with a friend, or a friend convinces you to do something like, I don't know, maybe TP someone's house, or, you know, do something wild, and then afterwards you regret it and you're like, oh, why did we do that? That was stupid, you know? And I feel like that's what this person is saying. Like, they just are like, oh my God, I can't believe I listened to that person. They're very regretful. And I think that's why they're coming in super strong. Like, they kind of sacrificed this relationship for their friend or this other person, or other persons, could be multiple. And they're really like, damn, that was stupid. And that's why triumphant success, I think, is also reverse, is they're just super regretful. Like, they just, you know, they really could have seen having a family with you, and it's like not gonna happen probably. I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys can come back together, but it doesn't bode well given the way this person acted. So we got orphans, treasure island, higher power reverse, serendipity, and community again. So really, they're just wanting you to know that community played a huge role in this relationship. And I think you might not even be aware of the like other people that were involved, because I don't feel like it was on your side. I'm getting that it was on their side for sure. And I feel like a lot of these things, conversations or energies, you weren't aware of. You know, I also think it's interesting sometimes when you date someone, you'll find out from their friends, like later on, they'll be like, oh, well, he really liked you. I knew from the beginning because he kept talking about you. And you're like, really? Like, I didn't know that. I mean, I'm super naive, so I like never expect anything. I'm always like, huh? I don't know why, but I'm just always like taken by surprise by everything. So it's always funny when that happens. And I feel like this person, you might not have been aware of the conversations that were taking place. Like, you probably just were focused on the connection between you guys, but this person was, I feel like, definitely discussing you, or you were coming up in conversation, or somehow there were other people involved. And I don't feel like you were necessarily aware of it. Like, you might have kept it on the DL with your friends. You might not, I mean, some of you might have told people, I don't know. And just take what resonates and leave the rest. It's not like a huge point of contention, so it could be different for each of you. But I feel like you were not having the level of conversation about this relationship as this person was. And this person, I just feel like there was so much meddling on their side is what they're pointing to. And I feel like this person, they're blaming others, but they're also taking responsibility for their part in it and saying like, I really made the mistake to listen. You know, I should have just stuck in my own energy. And I feel like that's why orphaned has come up, is like this person has learned a really valuable lesson that they needed to stand strong. You know, the orphan doesn't go around asking their mom and dad for permission for everything because, you know, they obviously don't have that. And so it's like this person has had to learn of like, okay, so now you listen to all these people and it didn't really benefit you, because at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for our heart. And I just feel like this person wasn't strong enough and they didn't realize that. And now they've kind of figured it out, but it was a major loss for them. And with serendipity and treasure island and higher power reversed, but I feel like this person is just acknowledging how much beauty you bring to this world. That's something they really want you to know. They're telling me you still have stars in your eyes. I feel like you guys are that person that probably your social media is still on point, or this person just sees whatever you have going on in your life, and you guys are such a happy, positive person that I feel like even if this loss was painful for you, like either you already have or you will glow up and be like super happy. And you know, like this person is just acknowledging that like they really lost out and that you guys really are like this star and you guys are going to do so much stuff. And so it's like, you almost don't need them because you guys are going to have this beautiful, happy life. I can just tell from your energy, which is so beautiful. So I think that they are just saying like they really made a mistake. And honestly, I do feel like in a way you guys deserved someone who was going to block out what their friends say. Like, I mean, come on, like this relationship means so much more than a friendship or, you know, what other people think status wise. So I feel like they should have chosen you, you know, and I feel like you guys have this beautiful, joyful, magnanimous energy that is going to attract people like flies. And so you don't need to settle for this, you know, you deserve someone who is just going to pick you, choose you every time. So with that being said, you guys, I really hope that resonated. No more audio problems. I don't know why my voice kept tapping out. I don't know, but I think this person has issues with communication. They're coming in really strong. Is there anything else you guys have to say to pile two? Well, they're just saying, I love you. So like they really cared about you for sure. And I think that they regret how they acted. And I definitely think they're reflecting on it and they recognize that they really messed up and they're saying that they didn't treat you the way you deserved. So at least you guys have that confirmation. It's always nice to hear that validation. Please let me know if it resonated, you guys. I really hope it did. And I love hearing your stories. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. And always make sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. I post every few days. So if you want to see more videos, make sure you're subbed and have notifications on so you get notified first. So with that being said, you guys have an amazing day and I will see you in the next reading. Sending you so much love and light. Bye guys. Hello, my lovely pile threes. So if you guys picked this French fry, this is going to be your reading. It is so realistic, like it literally looks like it should be glistening with oil. I don't know if you guys can tell, and it's like flexible. It literally like it makes me want to eat fries, dip it in some ketchup. It looks just like a fry. I love French fries, so amazing choice, you guys. I am sitting from the side so that the light comes in, but hopefully we can do a good sized reading, but I do have to worry about the light because it's getting dark like way earlier lately. But with that being said, let's get straight into your reading. We got the Magician reversed, we got the Two of Swords reversed, the Ace of Wands reversed, the Lovers, we got the Five of Pentacles reversed, the Knight of Cups, Death, the Three of Swords, the Seven of Cups, the Empress reverse, and the Six of Cups. So first of all, what's coming through really strong is that this person had very strong feelings for you with the Lovers and with the Six of Cups. They definitely had really strong feelings for you guys. That is coming in really deeply. They want you to know that their feelings were there. What's coming up immediately with the Magician reverse and the Ace of Wands reverse is a lack of feeling of personal power. I feel like this person just didn't feel powerful enough to make this kind of happen, you know, and I feel like for them, they, you know, there was maybe a lot of like self-doubt and indecision. I feel like there was a little bit of being in their own head with the Seven of Cups, where it was almost like they got too caught up in their feelings. Like obviously it's a good thing to have feelings in a romantic relationship, but you know, it's got to be in a positive way. It can't be like out of control feelings where you are just completely off the rails and where your feelings are running roughshod over you. So that is coming in really strong. So pile 3, is there anything you want me to tell them about what your deep-seated motivations were? They're telling me they just couldn't. That's what I'm hearing, is like, I can't, I couldn't do it. So I don't know. I feel like this person, it's almost like the energy of someone just dropping the ball or not acting right the way they should. Like I feel like, you know, they just maybe they just weren't strong enough to come towards you. Like they see you as the Empress, and you know, I feel like for them, they compare themselves to you with this reverse. Like they compare themselves to you and they just don't feel strong enough to come to you with that energy. Like they see you as so strong, so capable, having everything figured out, and then it's like, oh, and me, I'm just this big loser. It's getting so dark outside. I think it's about to rain, which is my favorite weather and amazing for readings, but I hope it doesn't get too dark, in which case I'll turn on my light, but it looks so much uglier than natural light. So, because I'm away from my normal lighting setting. But yeah, so I hope it doesn't get too dark. Let me know in the comments if you're like, girl, you need to get like a different lighting system. But I think a storm is coming in, so that's why. But this person went through a lot of heartbreak because of that, with death and the 3 of Swords. If you're wondering if this person was affected by it, they definitely were. I feel like what I'm getting is this, they had this desire to come to you really strongly. You know, their feelings for you were very strong with the Knight of Cups, and they wanted to come and communicate that with you, but it's like they just bungled it. I'm almost feeling like they're beating themselves up. They're saying like, I ruined it. You know what I mean? They're actually coming towards you like sorrowfully. I'm seeing the image that I get when someone is apologetic or regretful, or their higher self is apologetic or regretful. Like they are saying that they really didn't handle things correctly. And I feel like that came from a lack of personal power. Like they just didn't feel strong or capable enough of coming towards you. And can I ask, like, Spirit, can you make it brighter outside, please? Please, please. Hopefully it'll get a little bit brighter soon. But yeah, I feel like this person is regretful. They are feeling very strongly like they messed up, and they're just like apologetic. I feel like their higher self is saying that, you know, they bungled it. This might have been a history for them where they were not good at rising to the occasion. You know, I just feel like, yeah, there's this also, I feel like this person, maybe they have low self-esteem or depression, because I've seen this bungling energy before, but in this case, I feel like this person, it's just like they're beating themselves up. They're not making excuses. They're just like, it's kind of like, I'm such a loser type energy. So we also got passion ignited, light, trapped in fear, disruption, movement, choices, decisions, and hope. So, for these, I feel like, first of all, this person was very attracted to you. We do have the Ace of Wands, even though it was reversed, and with passion ignited, like this person really had a lot of sexual desire for you. In a way, I feel like it might have held them back. Like I feel like this person, they may compare themselves to others, like sexually. Maybe they have fears about, you know, if this is a guy, maybe they are, you know, insecure about their size down there, or they're worried like, oh, this person, like I feel like they have such a opinion of you as being so powerful, so in command, exuding this sexual energy. And it's like that comes up when someone is really into someone. Like obviously we all want to be desirable to the ones we're into. We all want to turn on the, you know, the partner we have. And I feel like this person got very much in their head about like, is my, you know, size big enough, or if it's a girl, you know, maybe like feeling inexperienced or whatever. But there was this like insecurity that I feel like got the best of them with trapped in fear and disruption. I definitely feel like this person, they might have been dealing with anxiety or depression or something, but there is this letting their mind get the best of them, like the worst part of their mind, like, you know, that part that we all have of our brain that's like, well, you're not good enough for that. I always make a practice to like shout back and be like, excuse me, who are you? When my brain starts talking like that, like I'm like, and you are, and what is your authority, and who made you the king? And that, I know I sound crazy now I'm saying that I'm like talking to myself like that, but seriously, you have to talk back to yourself, and you have to like keep that little voice in check. Whenever it pops up, like smack it down like whack-a-mole, because it can lead to situations like this where now I feel like this person has a lot of regret, and I feel like they are like, darn, like it's almost like they feel like they missed the train. Like I'm seeing the image of someone standing at a train station as like the last train leaves the station, and they're just like, oh my God, I missed it, I ruined it, you know, and now it's gone, and now I don't get another chance. So they're really upset about it. They're letting you know that. Like I feel like you brought a lot of, you know, light and hope to their life. You brought this beautiful energy. They find you very exciting. They're very sexually attracted to you. They're talking again about your sexual magnetism. What was it that you were so attracted to? They're saying you have so much energy. They're saying you have this vibrancy to you. They're saying that you just bring this like, oof, like energy. I don't know how to describe it. I'm almost seeing like a salsa dancer or something. Like I feel like you guys are just fun, or you guys have, even if you're like an introvert, you have this sexuality to you. Like, you know, those people that just exude a little bit of sexual energy that just people kind of are intrigued by. Like I feel like that's you guys, and this person was so excited for you, by you, but then it's like they also got in their head because of it, and they started comparing themselves, and they started being like, well, I'm sure they're not going to be impressed by me because I only offer this, and you know, they have all this going on. And so it's like this negative loop in their mind that I feel like really got the best of them. So other cards we got are building blocks reversed, observer, exchanging gifts, breathe, fork in the road, and a higher power. So yeah, with building blocks reversed, it's like this person just didn't do the work that they needed to do. There's this theme of unempowerment in their life. I feel like when it came to you, I just feel like they just didn't do the work that they should have done. You know, I feel like they could have made this a beautiful situation. There's just this intimidation feeling coming in really strongly. Why were you so intimidated by pile 3? They're asking me like, are you joking? they're like, are you kidding me? Why wouldn't I be intimidated? Like, that'll be a shorter list. They're like, it's obvious. Like, why are you even asking? Like, it's like, okay, I don't need the attitude. Excuse me, pile 3's people, but they are just so incredulous because they truly see you as just someone who has everything going on, that it's like, they, in their mind, like, you are attracted to anyone. I feel like there's also this energy of like, why did this person be into me? They could have anyone, they could be with anyone, and they chose me. Like, what the heck's going on? So I don't know if this person has low self-esteem or they're dealing with depression, anxiety. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are genuinely dealing with like serious issues regarding that, because the energy is very down on themselves. You know, it's very like self-critical. Why else were you guys so into pile 3? They're telling me there's something really beautiful about your lips. Maybe you guys have a beautifully shaped lip or bigger lips, or I don't know, maybe you wear some kind of lipstick or lip gloss, but they really like your lips. And they're saying there's something very attractive about your mouth when you speak. Maybe you guys have a beautiful voice, or just the way you move your mouth is something they find very attractive. They're telling me that they used to stare at your mouth when you would speak. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. You might not be, you might not have ever noticed, but I feel like when you guys would talk, they would just literally just stare at your mouth and just like look at the way it moves. There's some kind of movement of your mouth that they find very, very attractive. Maybe some of you guys have like a slight accent or something, or speak in a way that's like slightly different, you know, or a lisp or something, but it's like there's something about the way you kind of move your tongue and your jaw and the mechanics of the way you speak, you know what I mean, how your mouth moves, that they are very attracted to. So other cards we got are the 9 of Pentacles, we got the 3 of Swords, We got the 10 of Swords. It's hard for me to even read this. It's turning into like a full-on storm. So it's great reading energy, but not so great for like filming a video. We got the World reversed, the Empress, the 6 of Wands. We got the Queen of Swords, the 7 of Wands, and the King of Cups reversed. So again, there's this energy where this person, like, they just viewed you as so amazing. It's like, I feel like they could just stare at you all day. Like, they just view you. It's like, I keep hearing, why me? Like, they don't understand why you would ever spend any time with them at all, because they see you as so amazing. You guys, I had to turn on this light because it is getting so dark. So I am sorry, it's so bright. I have a lighting system at home that makes it look a lot more like natural light, but this is just like my camera light. So sorry if it's like blindingly bright, but you know, it is getting so dark and there is a storm coming in. So anyway, that's a great reading weather though. So hopefully the reading will be extra good because it's all dark and stormy and I love that for readings. So yeah, with this person, I feel like they could just stare at you all day. Like they really find you so sexually alluring. Like that's coming in so strongly. They just view you as like almost like a goddess energy, which I mean, the Empress came up twice. So yeah, it makes sense. Like they are just kind of in awe of you. And I feel like there's this, again, comparison. Like maybe they are intimidated by your ex-boyfriends, or they just feel like, why on earth would this person be with me? Like, did they lose their mind, or what is going on? They don't understand why you would ever want to be with them. Again, with the Queen of Swords, something about your mouth when you speak, like I feel like there's something about how you communicate that they find so sexy. Maybe you guys are good with your words verbally, or you guys, again, have something very beautiful about your mouth. But I just feel like when you speak, they are like entranced by you. They are so attracted to you. And it's like they just, I feel like they honestly, I gotta be honest, not turning this into an 18+ reading, but like, you know, sometimes once in a while, once in a blue moon, not every reading, thank God. But once in a blue moon, I'll be doing like a normal reading and I will just have someone come in with so much sexual energy. And I feel like that's what this person, like a lot of they are so sexually attracted to you. Luckily, I feel like a lot of their intentions and their feelings for you go a lot deeper. It wasn't just about sex with you. It's not like they are just turned on by you, but they don't have any deep feelings. But it's like the whole thing. I feel like a lot of their fantasies about you, like I just feel like they actively would fantasize about you, like very frequently, like at night, they would think about like, you know, imagining you in different positions or scenarios. Their attraction for you is just something they keep bringing up. So I really have to mention it. Like they are just so, you know, turned on by you, and they just kind of see you as like this sex goddess. So this person now, you know, has spent a lot of time in a lot of regret with the 10 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. This person really is mourning. I feel like they just feel like they messed it up. You know how sometimes you'll hear a story online and they'll be like, you know, I didn't realize that this like beautiful woman, sometimes it's a celebrity, you know, on like random sites or whatever, and they'll be like, I didn't realize that this person was totally flirting with me, and I ruined it. Like I didn't know they were flirting, so they were like, hey, where are you staying tonight at the hotel? And the person was like, oh no, I'm just staying at my house. What's, you know what I mean? Like they just totally missed the message, and they just, now they look back and regret, and they're like, oh, I could have had that chance. And I feel like that's what this person is saying. They had so much attraction to you, and now they're really feeling disempowered that they didn't make it happen. They feel like, you know, now they've had time to reflect on it, and they're really not thinking that they'll be able to find anyone as sexually alluring as you. So we also got thriving, reverse, flexibility, opportunity, and purification. So I feel like this person needed to do a lot of work on themselves and kind of come to a better place where they're feeling more empowered. And I do think they've been on a journey with that, with trying to make themselves like, so that this wouldn't happen again, you know? So trying to make themselves feel more empowered, trying to make themselves be in a better place, because what they're telling me is just that they really were not like feeling strong enough on their own. You know what I mean? They really were not feeling like they had the confidence, I guess, to approach you. I feel like they find you very intimidating. And again, at the time, I feel like they felt like you would shoot them down. They felt like you would reject them. Now, I feel like that they've had time to reflect on it. There's this sense that they feel like maybe, like, now they've had time to think it over, and they're like, oh, I think she might have been into me, or I think he might have been into me. But at the time, it was like they were very sure that someone like you would never be interested in someone like them. So it was almost like they just couldn't comprehend it, and they were so afraid of rejection that they just kind of stayed away from it. And what I'm hearing from them is they've done a lot of reflection on that, and actually you coming into their life gave them a big boost. It actually helped their confidence, because they've learned from this, and they're like, you know, I really actually can attract that kind of a partner. Like, maybe I am kind of, you know, got some stuff to offer to the world. But for the longest time, they just didn't feel like it was even in the realm of possibility that someone like you would be interested in them. They see you as so goddess-like, so beautiful, so sexy. Or if you're a guy, sorry, but you know, most of my viewers are women, so a lot of times when I channel, it just comes out. But they just view you as being on such a high pedestal. But this can be applied to guys, girls, whoever. So, you know, just flip the genders around in whatever way you need for this reading to resonate with you. We're just channeling energies here. So this person really views you as being just someone who is so sexually powerful that I feel like there was just a level of intimidation and a level of like shock. Like they just couldn't understand why you would be talking to them. In a way, I feel like many times if you were into them, or you would flirt or talk to them in a like kind of flirtatious way, they wouldn't even be able to perceive that was going on, and they'd be like, okay, you're crazy. Afterwards, if they thought to themselves, was that flirting? They'd be like, are you delusional? Like, are you hallucinating? Of course they wouldn't flirt with you. They're so sexy. They have everything going on. So we got be supportive, do something for someone, romance, appreciate this moment, and receive with love and appreciation. So again, I just feel like this person, they weren't really good at receiving this relationship in a positive way. Hey guys, sorry about that. It just started pouring rain, and the place I'm staying, there's the thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear it. The place I'm staying, it's so cute, and it's like a farmhouse somewhere. There's like goats and stuff, so it's adorable, but I had to like feed the animals and stuff. And before it got dark, weirdly enough, I think it's actually brighter now for the video. So anyway, we can get back into the reading, and I love channeling during the rain. So I do feel like this person, you know, it's like they needed to be in their personal empowerment. It's almost like I feel like they truly didn't think that a love like this was possible for them. You know what I mean? Like in their mind, this was just an impossibility. Like no one like you would be into someone like them. So there was this inner self work that they had to do, where they came into their power and they really started to be able to receive love. Like this person just was not capable of it. They were constantly questioning themselves. It's almost like because they had such a high opinion of you, it made them more intimidated, and where they could have stepped up to the plate and been like, you know what, I'm scared, but I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna go for it because I really like this person, so I'm gonna take the risk. They just got into this negative self spiral. And I think in a way, like before when I was doing this reading, I was kind of in a rush because it was getting so dark, and I was like, why is it so dark? And I feel like in a way, me having to take the pause and stuff and reflecting, I feel like this person, it's almost like they were in a frenzy too, or they weren't thinking like clearly. Like if they had checked in and had calm with spirit, they would have known like, I am worthy of this, you know what I mean? But because they were so in their head, like circling around, like constantly like this negative self-talk, like all the time, they really couldn't come to you in the way you deserved. And I feel like now they have learned a lot from this relationship. Now they have learned to tap into their self-worth, but they're still working on it, is what they're telling me. Do you have any other things you want me to tell pile 3 right now? They're telling me give them time. So I guess they're not ready right now, but they are in the process of working on it and coming to a more positive place. They're working on becoming capable. Like they're telling me in a way also, they weren't even capable of giving you everything you deserve because they, you know, they weren't capable of coming to you from an empowered place. Like when we don't feel empowered, when we feel less than, we can't give someone, we can't do something for someone, we can't really support them in the way they deserve. Like you also, like in their mind and what they're telling me, is you guys come from a very powerful place. You guys have a lot of personal power. You guys are a powerful energy. And so it's like you need someone who's going to support you in that way, who's going to feed that to you, who's going to make you feel even more capable, even more powerful, and help you radiate. And this person was in such an unempowered place that they really couldn't meet you and support you and feed you in that way. And it's like you needed a king and they were like a peasant. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about finances or trying to make any judgments. I'm saying this was the mentality. You know what I mean? You needed someone who was powerful, who radiated themselves strongly, and yet they just weren't in that energy. I feel like this person may have had like heartbreak, or they may just be struggling with depression or anxiety or kind of like mental issues like that. But for sure, it's like something they needed to work on. And for sure, it's something that their higher self wanted them to change. I just feel like they were so taken by surprise when it came to you. Like they really couldn't imagine that someone like you was going to like be into them. You know, they really couldn't imagine that someone like you would even take an interest in them. And I feel like in a way, like it just, I don't know, it took them by such surprise. And it brought out insecurities that it's almost like they didn't even know they had. Like they probably knew they had some insecurities, but they had no idea the extent of how crippling it was. And I feel like this relationship has really made them work on it and made them change themselves as a result. But I'm hearing that they're not done and they're still really in the process. So other cards we got are Angel of Love reversed, and fourth chakra Archangel Raphael reversed, and Happy Family, Indecision, and All Tied Up. So it's funny because Raphael deals with healing and to a certain extent love. And so with it reversed and Angel of Love reversed, it really makes me think that this person, like it's like they had to do a lot of personal healing, and also just that, you know, like they weren't able to step forward and heal themselves in time. I also feel like this was a matter of time, and it is a matter of timing. I do feel like this person has an intention to come back to you in the future. Pile three's person, do you have an intention to come back in the future? They're telling me yes, they do. They have that intention. They're trying to work on themselves and they think of you all the time. I feel like you give them a confidence boost. Like when they will feel down on themselves, they'll literally think of your name and think of you and be like, well, if that person was into me, then I must be kind of cool. So in a way, I feel like this is a positive step for this person. Like, however this depression or negative energy came about, they are trying to work to change it and to fix themselves. But it's like they were just tied up in their head. They were really full of doubt for themselves, and they really couldn't imagine that anyone like you would ever take an interest in them. You know what I mean? One good thing I do like about this pile is I feel like this person didn't take you for granted. So many times you'll see someone who really takes someone for granted and just kind of doesn't really see them. And I feel like this person truly sees so much beauty in you, and it's almost a little too much. Like it's like, okay, I appreciate the compliment, but maybe, you know, don't be so intimidated. Like I feel like this person is just bowled over by you. You know, your energy they find so beautiful. They really see you as just like this great beauty, and I feel like they just don't feel good enough. But what I like is that I feel like this person, at least the vibe I'm getting, it could be different for some of you, but I feel like they didn't come to you and try to like manipulate you or play mental games because of their lack of self-worth. I do feel like they are acknowledging that the lack of self-worth they had is fully on them, and that it's not your fault that they feel less than you. They're not blaming you or being like, well, you're not as great as you think or whatever. They are acknowledging, at least their higher self is acknowledging, that you really are amazing and that they have a ton of respect for you. I feel like this person wishes in a way that they could rewind the clock, but they're also acknowledging that this was like a part of their journey. Like they really needed to work on their self-worth. And this is the thing that has made them realize how much they need to, you know, fix that part of themselves. Like they really were trying to, you know, get better, but there was no urgency to it. And now you have really brought that side out to them. Is there any other messages that need to be coming out for pile 3? Are there any other messages that need to be coming out for pile 3? So we got peace reversed. Any other messages? Milk and honey reversed. Anything else? Regeneration. So this was like a tower moment for them. This was a moment of real growth for them, that I do feel like, you know, has really spurred them into really growing and improving themselves and getting into their confidence. I feel like this person, honestly, they just didn't know what to say with you. They are so intimidated by you, and I feel like you have a way of, again, I keep getting that the way you talk is seductive. Maybe you guys are like funny, or you're like a fast talker, or you're very confident when you speak, or again, maybe it's just something about the way your mouth moves, because I'm seeing that very strongly, like just someone's lips forming certain words. Like I feel like the way you just say certain vowels or consonants, they find it super sexy. And so I feel like because they are so turned on by you, it just, again, they're just really intimidated by you. Is there any other messages you guys have for pile 3 as to their motivation for why? Or is there anything else you want to tell pile 3? They just want to say like they're sorry that they couldn't step up to the plate, and they want to thank you for helping them grow. Their higher self at least is saying this. Is there anything else you guys have to say? They just want you to know how special you are, and that you guys, I'm hearing shine bright like a diamond. I feel like you guys radiate this personal power and this personal seductive energy. You might not even realize how intimidating you are. You might just be like, well, what's the problem? I just was speaking to you. But it's like, you don't realize that you're radiating like this femme fatale type energy, like almost like Marilyn Monroe or something. Like I feel like you just have this seductive quality to you. And so, you know, those people where like sometimes they'll look at you and it's just a glance, it's just a look, but there's something about their eyes that is just so like seductive that you're like, whoa. A lot of Scorpios have that. I noticed like a ton of Scorpio people have this like super intense gaze that, you know, technically they're just looking at someone, but it feels like they're looking into their soul. It's super intense, kind of sexually intimidating. And I feel like you guys have that quality. Like Scorpios a lot of times don't even mean to be so sexually intimidating. It's not like, they're not like a sign like Leo that's like, let me turn this on and like, you know, like center stage time. Scorpios are actually very private. So they're not really trying to be the center of attention. Most Scorpios actually really hate attention. Like Scorpions, you know, hide under rocks and stuff. Scorpios do not like attention in the slightest. And yet they can't help like commanding all this sexual energy, and everyone knows them as like the sexual, you know, stars of the zodiac, like really good in bed and whatnot. And so many Scorpios have this like intense, brooding, smoldering gaze. And whether you guys are Scorpios or not, I feel like you guys have that quality where there's just something about you that radiates sexuality, that even if you're not seeking it out, and you may seek it out, some of you guys may be Leos or whatever, but how, like, I feel like it's not even something you guys necessarily turn on or want to radiate, but it is part of you. And so I feel like some of you don't realize how intimidating you are and how special you are. And this person was just very intimidated by you, kept thinking about sexually comparing themselves to other partners or to other people you've been with. Maybe there's an ex you have, maybe one of your exes is well known, or there's this aspect of other people being aware of you or something. But I just feel like this person is doing a lot of comparison. They're doing a lot of self-doubt. They're kind of thumbing through, like, in their mind, some catalog of like ex-lovers you guys have had. Maybe you guys are virgins or something. I mean, you can totally exude a sexual energy if you're a virgin. You know, you could still have an Eros dominant in your chart, or Pluto really dominant, or Mars, and still be exuding that sexuality. But I just feel like in this person's mind, they would think that you guys have either like had a lot of sexual experience, or that you are just really good in bed, and they're like, oh my God, like I need to be on my A game. And they are super intimidated. I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, really are looking down critically at their body, or like you know, looking up sex tips online. Again, so much of their interest in you is sexual. Again, they have deeper feelings with the Lovers card coming up, but I also feel like there's just this real preoccupation and fixation. I promise I didn't bring up sex this much in other readings, and I'm not trying to turn it into an 18 plus. This is just what this person is coming forward by. Like, they're so turned on by you, and sometimes that can almost work against it, because it's like when you're that into someone, you know, that can raise suspicions. Or like when someone is a really beautiful, sexy person, like I've heard lots of girls, you know, when we have had girl talk, and they're like, oh, I could never date a guy like Chris Hemsworth, because, oh my God, like all the other girls would want to date him and I can't deal with that pressure or something. And I mean, I don't want to get into like spiritual truths, but I'm like, if that's your soulmate, he's not going to notice any other girls. Like, it's okay. I mean, he seems loyal to his wife. I don't know. But the point is that I just feel like this person got in their head like that, where they were like, oh, I could never be with someone like that. She'll always have lots of guys going after her, or he'll always have lots of girls going after her, and him. Yeah, I think, and so in a way, this beautiful sexual energy that you have worked against you in this case. But I don't want any of you to question your self-esteem or feel like you need to change that, because this person is acknowledging that it was their fault and that they've had time to reflect, and they really regret how they handled it, and they do wish they had stepped forward more strongly and been kind of this man or woman that you needed, with a strong, powerful energy, and just been like, no, I want this person, and that's it. But they were dealing with self-doubt, and also there's just this strong intimidation factor. There's this energy of them being caught up in their own head. And again, I just feel like because you guys seem to exude this sexual magnetism, according to them, they really didn't think that anything could work out long term. They were just like, why would they be with me? Or maybe they were afraid you were going to use them for sex and dump them or something. Like, you know what I mean? Hit it and quit it situation. Or they just were really scared that, you know, you would just not be into them long term, and they would have their heart broken. So yeah, a lot of fear is coming forward. I feel like that tension and that kind of nervousness. And so I do think that they want you to know that they're working on growing through that, and they're working on kind of trying to find peace and a good mental state of mind, so that they can approach you with like the calm certainty that is needed in these kinds of relationships. Because when you are dealing with someone who commands a lot of attention, you do have to be very secure in yourself. You do have to come to the relationship correct, and you do have to come like, I'm strong, and yes, I know that other people are going to hit on them when we're out, or other people are going to stare at them, but I'm confident in myself and I'm okay with that. You know, that has to be the energy you approach with when you're dating someone like this, who's going to get a lot of eyes on them, or have a lot of other interests, or have a lot of other suitors. So I feel like this person just was definitely not in that place, but they are working on it, and they want you to know that. Are there any final messages you have for pile 3? They're saying like they are working on it, and they really do hope that they will be ready to approach you in the future. So it's something that they are trying to fix. And like, I feel like they do fantasize about, you know, hitting you up in like a year's time when they have like the perfect body or something, whatever they are working on. Because I do feel like they are doing some self-improvement. They're working on their mental attitude, because again, this aspect of like their body insecurity keeps coming up. So I feel like they're working on changing their mental attitude towards that, but they're also working on actually changing their body and kind of getting themselves into a place where they'll feel super physically confident, so that they can like, I'm hearing they want to be your equal, and they want you guys to measure up to each other. So that's what they're trying to do. That's what they are working on. I'm not going to tell anyone to wait for someone, but I think this is just what is going on their side of the connection. So I really hope this helped you guys. I'm sorry it was such a weird reading with the lighting and the major storm, but you know, I do feel like this person, it kind of matches their energy, because again, their energy is kind of frantic and a little bit all over the place, or I don't know, in their head. So the fact that it got all stormy and it was kind of chaotic makes sense to me. And sometimes spirit does weird stuff with that, with like the readings. So please let me know if it resonated, you guys. Please drop your stories in the comments. I really love reading them. And also make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can find out as soon as I post, because I will be back very shortly now that my poison ivy is kind of healing. So hopefully I will be back again soon. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next reading, and sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hello, my lovely pile 4. So if you guys picked this drumstick, this is going to be your reading. This one looks so good. Drumsticks are probably my favorite part of the chicken, although I love the wings as well. But this is a great choice, and the way they did the detail on it, like, it looks so good and crispy, and it just, like, if you just crunch in, sorry, people are like, your readings make me hungry, and this description definitely is not helping. By the way, I do want to apologize that the lighting is kind of janky. I usually try to film my natural light, but it's a rainstorm and it got super dark, and I don't have my usual lighting set up, so just don't judge too hard, you guys. But I pre-pulled your cards. Let's get straight into it. We got the Knight of Swords, we got the Seven of Swords reversed, we got the Two of Swords, the Five of Cups, the King of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Death card, the Two of Wands reversed, and the King of Wands. So straight away, I'm picking up on like a deceptive element coming through really strongly with the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords. I don't know if this person was untruthful to you or didn't tell the truth. I do feel like this person is very good with their words. With the King of Swords, they might be very smooth. And with the King of Wands, they might be very sexually alluring. This card can sometimes indicate like a playboy type of energy, or I guess a playgirl, but you know, it is the king, so it often is like a male figure. But if you're a guy asking about a girl, definitely just change those genders around. It totally works. Change the genders to whatever you need to. But I do feel like this person may be like a little bit of a smoothie, as I call them. Like, they may be someone that is good with their words, good with their tongue, good at, you know, putting on the charm. And there's really nothing wrong with someone being really good with their words. You know, this person, it's really a gift that, you know, shows up in someone's natal chart. Maybe they have a really good Mercury or a really good Sun placement, you know. So it's not a bad thing to be great with your words with the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords. But when it's like all gifts. They can be used for good or used for bad. I'm hearing that quote from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I do feel like this person really liked you because they're indicating that they are very sad that they lost you. So I don't think this is a situation where you were just kind of another notch on the belt. But I don't know if this person was capable of coming towards you with honesty. I'm getting a vibe that there was some dishonesty on their part. I'm getting a vibe that they might have like lied or not been honest with you, and now they're regretting it because they did care about you. They did have feelings for you, but I don't know that they were capable of coming to you from a place of integrity. Sometimes when someone grows up in a situation or is just used to the energy where they're taught they have to lie, or they're taught they have to cover parts of themselves, it can be very scary when they get into that relationship with someone that kind of wants to see them honestly, you know, because that's what happens in these deep soulmate connections or deep love relationships, is you're putting it all on the table. You're being very honest with this person, and this person is going to see you, you know, your vulnerabilities, your dark side, your good side, all of it. And that can be really terrifying for someone that's not used to revealing that part of themselves. And sometimes when you see someone that is used to portraying a certain identity, maybe they seem like Mr. Cool or Mrs. Cool or whatever, and then suddenly someone comes in and kind of like rips the like mask off and is like, hey, it can be really terrifying. And I feel like this person had a little bit of like, oh my God, and kind of maybe deceived you or wasn't honest to you, or just didn't fully want to reveal themselves, is what I'm getting. Like I'm almost seeing someone like hiding themselves under a cloak or something. So I feel like this person, maybe they had an image, or they present as very good with their words, very cool. Like I feel like this person, maybe if you worked with them or they were in your friend group, they would be like that kind of cool person that always has like a quick comment, or is very sarcastic, or has a really good sense of humor but can like roast someone, you know what I mean? And you know, it's almost like sometimes that can come from a place of insecurity. If you're always the first person to have like a little joke that's kind of insulting, even if it's like a joke and it's all in good fun, a lot of times that can be motivated by insecurity of the self, or being, you know, nervous about someone else getting ahead of you. So you got to kind of take them down a peg. So I feel like in a way, this insecurity may have been what motivated them to not want you to see them fully. And maybe there was a little bit of deceptive energy, or them not being fully honest with you, because I think that's an energy they were in their whole lives, really. So other cards we got: rest and rejuvenate, recognition and reward reversed, prosperity begins reversed, trapped in fear, disruption, triumphant success reversed, solitude reversed, emotional withdrawal, and stand your ground reversed. So I feel like this person was very used to acting a certain way, and again, there's like this coolness, or I feel like they're very concerned with their reputation. It's almost like they don't want to lose face, they don't want to look stupid. And I think in a way they were afraid if they were fully like in a relationship with you, or like super attached with you, that other people would make fun of them. Maybe that other people would call them a simp, or other people would be like, oh, you're so whipped, or you know what I mean, like they would just lose some kind of face. So they were very nervous about that, and they kind of stuck to their guns. Like I feel like they felt so tempted with you to give in and to open up, but then they're telling me that they didn't, and they almost felt like they had to. Like it's almost like a stubborn energy, or like a point of pride. Like they're like, no, you're not gonna get this side of me, you're not gonna pry me open and get all my secrets. You know what I mean? Like they're very protective of these secrets, or this different identity. I feel like they have a more vulnerable side than they show the world, and they're very protective of it. And they're very almost like, you know how sometimes there'll be like an abused dog, and like I've seen like rescue videos for like Hope for Paws, which is a great organization, and so they post videos of them like rescuing dogs around Los Angeles. And a lot of times when they approach the dog will be really scared, and sometimes very aggressive, and like bark and scream and shout, or I guess just bark because they're a dog, but you know, they're making all this noise and they're snapping, and they might even try to bite the person. And it's because, and the person's obviously not trying to hurt them, they're trying to save them, they're trying to pet them. But they're so not used to that kind of sweetness and softness that they're terrified, you know? And I feel like this person, the feelings that you brought out in them, they just weren't ready for them. And so they reacted by just completely kind of shutting down, shutting out, and being like, no, you're not going to get that side of me. Almost like they assumed you were trying to harm them. You know what I mean? And I see that a lot with people with like intimacy issues. It's like it actually provokes fear. It actually does provoke this kind of fight or flight, like, fight response, like I'm gonna get you. No, you're not gonna, like, it's, you know, you're like bringing out their sword, like you are going to not get the best of me. And so they almost had this like fear reaction, because I think you brought that out in them. Like they were like, oh, well, I could actually see myself really becoming vulnerable with this person, and it really shook them up. Like we got disruption. I feel like this person's kind of identity and stuff is tied to this idea of themselves as being very strong, as being very in charge, and feeling very like, again, this smoothie vibe, like they know the right thing to say, they know the right words, they know, you know, they're used to feeling kind of like master of their domain. And then you came in and it was like, whoa, and you made them feel feelings that they really weren't used to feeling and really weren't ready for. So I feel like they are coming forward to acknowledge some, like their higher self. I don't think they are coming forward, so let me clarify that. Like I'm hearing like from them like, no, I'm not, because I do feel like they're still very proud, but I do feel like their higher self wants you to know that they are a little bit apologetic, or like their higher self recognizes that they messed up or they didn't act completely right, but their actual lower self was kind of a little belligerent, to be honest. Still, I do feel like they were very concerned with recognition and reward with other people's perception of them. That's a big theme. Like I feel like maybe when they were younger or something, maybe they were even bullied or something, because there's this real preoccupation and almost fear of losing face. Or maybe they never were bullied, and maybe they were just, you know, always in the kind of popular crowd because they always watched, you know, the dynamics and always kept track of people's image of them. And they're very good at managing people's perception of them. So I don't know, but I don't know if they picked that up when they were young or they've always done that, but there is this very big preoccupation with their public identity and people's perception of them. And so I feel like that is a big reason why they weren't capable of coming to you in the way that they kind of wanted to and would have liked to. So we also got the 8 of Swords. We got the 5 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups reversed, the Queen of Wands, the 10 of Wands, the Chariot, the Hierophant, and the Tower. So much coming through in these cards. So again, I feel like you guys really brought out emotions in them that they had really kind of repressed. Like they don't want to be this emotional person. I feel like this is not someone that would have watched The Notebook and cried and been like, oh, I want a relationship. If anything, they would have like made fun of it and been like, pooh, this is so lame. Oh my God, so cringe, you know? And so that's why they have been very taken aback by the feelings you provoke in them and kind of scared of it. Like, wait a minute, this isn't part of my identity. This isn't part of the plan. Like, no way, I didn't sign up for this. Their identity is very tied up in them being kind of in control and being like too cool for school kind of vibe. Like as if they are, you know, they're that like cool senior at school that's like smoking cigarettes behind the school and kind of like making fun of the freshmen kind of a vibe. You know what I mean? Like kind of jaded and like, oh God, all that romance chick flick stuff is so lame, you know? And so it's like the fact that you provoked all this emotion in them really threatened them. Like it didn't just feel like, oh, well, this is kind of making me nervous because now I have to be vulnerable, because we all feel that way. But truly, I think their identity was built on this bedrock and this foundation of them being like, I'm not falling in love. That's lame, you know? No way. I'm way cooler than that. And so when you came in, they're also telling me with the Queen of Wands that you're very sexually alluring and they were very turned on by you. And so that was one of the kind of pathways like Spirit will use to make someone maybe open up emotionally. It's like, well, if we can't get with you emotionally, we'll crack that. We'll use that sex door. You know what I mean? And so I feel like they were very attracted to you. But it's like it felt threatening. It felt like not just threatening to them, like, okay, now I have to be vulnerable. And I think that makes everyone nervous, but truly threatening to their very core of their identity as a soul and as a person. It made them like really nervous and almost feel like you were attacking them. Some of them might have been rude or even hostile to you, because I am getting this vibe that they felt under attack by you, and not because of anything you did. It's not like you came up to them and were like, hey, bozo, or insulted them or something, although maybe you should have, because, you know, some of this behavior is bozo like, but I feel like just your presence and the emotions you conjured up in them, it was threatening to them in that sense. And so some of them might have been directly hostile, or you might have been like, wait a minute, you were flirting with me one moment and now you're being rude or making fun of something about me, or like, what is this? Like hot and cold. And it's because you brought forth this fear in them and this you made them feel threatened about their identity. I can't say that strongly enough. So for them, they felt almost like under attack in that way. There's also this idea that they want to create, I feel like, this image of someone who's very sexually, has a lot of sexual prowess. They want to be like that sexual dynamo, like sexual powerhouse type person, you know? And again, I feel like the idea of them being with you or locking it down with you, it makes them feel very vulnerable. And it makes them feel like, well, this isn't the identity I wanted. Again, this person is very concerned with building an identity. It's almost like you'll hear, you know, a band or like a pop star or an actress or someone, and like if you could listen in with their agents, and their agent will be saying like, okay, so we want to portray you as the girl next door, or we want to create, you know, portray you as the bad boy or whatever. And they discuss all the intricacies of like, okay, so we're going to dress you in the leather jackets, and, you know, I want you to get a tattoo, and you're going to, you know, you're going to be kind of hostile in interviews to the interviewer, and you're going to crack a lot of jokes, and they'll talk about how to create this specific identity. I'm almost almost seeing that vibe for this person as something they've internally done, where they have really thought over all the details of their identity. They have really tried to craft this persona for themselves. And I think that's why they felt so threatened, is because this is a major aspect of their identity. They are very concerned with their self-image and with other people's perception of them. So the deep kind of pull and draw they felt to you really scared them, and it made them feel very vulnerable about how others would perceive them. I feel like especially others of the same gender. So if it's a guy, they're very worried about how other guys perceive them, and if it's a woman, they're very concerned with how other women perceive them. I feel like in a way this person has a fantasy of being like that, you know, Casanova, or someone who is just so sexually alluring and like gets all the guys or gets all the girls. This person dreams and fantasizes about having everyone be like, oh yeah, look at Mr. Cool over there, you know, or Mrs. Cool. And so they, you know, it's like you came in and you destabilized that. You kind of opened another doorway to them of like, oh damn, or I could settle down. And wow, I kind of like that idea. And then they were like, no, what are you saying? Like, you know how like sometimes like maybe you're on a hike with someone or you're working out. And I did this with a friend once where we were like working out on this trail and going for a run, and it was through the city. And I remember my friend turned to me, and she did this a few times, but this time I gave in, and she was like, do you want to go get a drink of champagne? And I was like, well, I do have my debit card like on me. And so we just left the workout like halfway through, and we went and we got champagne and had like brunch, and the workout ended. And you know how I feel like that's like the kind of vibe almost that they feel, where they had this plan, right? And they had this goal of, again, being this kind of sexually alluring superstar type person. Then you come in and you kind of tempt them away from this goal. This is how they view it. Obviously, what you were opening was a pathway to something beautiful, not the equivalent of downing glasses of champagne at brunch, but you brought in the door to like this beautiful relationship. But for them, because they were so set on that goal, it was the equivalent of you like tempting them away from their workout. You know what I mean? And instead of them being like, yeah, girl, let's go get brunch, they were like, no, and how dare you ask? You know, they felt like you were this huge temptation to them. And it's funny because most of the time temptation would be the opposite. It would be like a super sexual energy, but you're coming in there with like this beautiful, loving kind of home energy, like family energy, long-term relationship energy. And they actually view that as the temptation. This person is very obsessed with kind of being in control, being the dominant one. And again, they have fantasies of being the Casanova, or dating a lot of women, or dating a lot of men if they're, you know, whatever they're into. So I feel like this person, you know, it's like suddenly you come in and make them want to leave the bachelor lifestyle behind, and that scares them. And they're like, wait a minute, no, that is not the plan, and you are not going to do that to me. So their reaction was a little bit petulant to like be so upset about it, like, oh my God, come on, that's not an attack, but that's how this person viewed it. So we also got here and now reversed. We got yin, we got peace, we got round and round, we got chaos and conflict reversed, and we got mending reversed, and round is reversed. So this person, I feel like they kind of are in this cycle, and I feel like maybe their spirit guides brought you around because they do want this person to evolve. This is a little bit of an immature energy for sure. Like, for sure it's immature. I feel like this person has a little bit of insecurity with yin coming in. If this is a guy you're asking about, I feel like this person feels really the need to prove their masculinity. Like maybe they were teased for being effeminate or too sensitive or too emotional when they were younger, and now it's almost like they have to prove on 10 that it's like, no, I am not that way, and I'm super masculine, and I'm Mr. Cool, and I'm, you know, Casanova. So, you know, if you are asking about a woman, maybe it's the flip of her having to prove her femininity or her sexual prowess. But I in a way, actually, if you're asking about a woman, I'm getting that's wrong, that this would be a woman who's trying to prove her masculine energy. So it might be a woman who has kind of internalized misogyny and kind of looks down on the idea of like traditional femininity, and maybe she is like, no, I'm gonna prove that I am super sexual, and I'm gonna prove that I I'm not just like one of the other girls that's obsessed with love, you know what I mean? And so they want to, you know how some girls will say, and no offense if this is what anyone says, but like, I'm not like other girls or something. Maybe it's a girl like that, but this is someone that wants to prove their masculine energy. They want to prove their yang energy. They want to prove, this is an insecurity of them, that they feel like they're too almost feminine, too emotional, too sweet, too almost like desperate for love. Like, I feel like that's how they would put it. It's not how I would put it, but that's how they would put it, of like, oh my God, maybe I'm a simp or something like that. Sorry guys, I had to take a break to fix some stuff before it got completely dark out. We're like out in the country here, so you know, it really does get dark early, and then you're kind of completely alone. But as I was saying, so I feel like this person, it's almost like they needed to prove a point to themselves or to others of like, I'm tough, I am not overly emotional, I am not, you know, this like overly romantic kind of person. I feel like they are very much, you know, it's like they have this little insecurity inside of themselves, and they're desperately trying to prove to everyone like, no, that's not true. Maybe they were sensitive when they were growing up, or maybe they were made fun of for being like a girl, or for being, you know, too emotional or something. But I feel like they felt the need to really toughen up. And you see that in men and women, you know, women that are not comfortable feeling in their divine feminine energy and being capable of receiving. And then men who, you know, are going the other direction and kind of taking a toxic masculinity, not that divine masculinity, which is very providing and a beautiful, strong energy, but like the toxic version where it is like, I'm going to be tough and I'm an alpha. And it's like, that's not even what an alpha is. An alpha is giving and is, you know, in touch with themselves and is, you know, beautiful in a loving way, strong in a loving way, not someone who is like angry, aggressive all the time. So I feel like this person, I'm not saying they're necessarily aggressive in the way of like starting fights with everyone, although they could be. I could see this person and their energy maybe like getting into an argument with a random person at a bar. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of situations would happen to them, because I do feel like they have an energy, a little bit of having a chip on their shoulder. It's almost like they have something to prove, you know, and they're kind of walking around like, hey, don't you say that I'm, you know, not masculine. And it's like, wait, we never did. No one's even saying that. Like, especially that this is directed towards you and they reacted this strongly towards you, when I feel like they were so drawn to you, but it's almost like they forced themselves to shut off those emotions. And it is a little bit dysfunctional. Like, it's like, well, you know, especially if they're going to feel that way towards you. And I feel like if anyone could have gotten through to them, it is you. But I feel like they ran from this, and sometimes some of them might have been even rude or hostile or aggressive towards you, which I don't like. For me personally, you know, when I'm dating someone, they need to come correct, and I need to see some good behavior. I, you know, date guys, so I need to see some gentlemanly stuff. So for me, this would annoy me a lot. Like, I would be like, excuse me? No, I don't like the rudeness. But of course, to each their own. People feel differently and want different things in relationships. And, you know, maybe some of you guys like this person's feistiness and they're, you know, that they have like this fighting spirit. But I do think that we can see here sometimes the negative, you know, manifestation of that, where this person, it's like they weren't willing to, you know, open up because they're so afraid and they feel the need to be so tough. Maybe some of them were even in the army or something. Like, I feel like there is this kind of macho attitude or this need to run away from the feminine. Maybe this is the kind of person who would make jokes about like, that's a chick flick, or like typical girl stuff or something like that, where I feel like there is this disparagement towards this yin energy, which is feminine energy. Again, it wouldn't work for me because I don't like it when any dude jokes about like girl stuff. I'm like, excuse me, and I'll go on a crazy rant. Y'all have heard me talk about Taylor Swift, so I will, you know, bore them with like some story about, I don't know, some female entertainer or something that like, don't insult girls in front of me because I don't like it. But yeah, so I mean, obviously this is your relationship and maybe you feel differently towards this, or maybe, you know, you didn't mind it as much. But I just feel like for them with Round and Round, it is a pattern. Like, this is something that they needed to kind of get out of this because it's not the most functional way is what I'm feeling, and it takes them out of the moment. Like I feel like y'all could have had this really great relationship, and you guys have a lot in common is what I'm hearing. Like they can be kind of funny, and I feel like you like that. Like their sense of humor, even though maybe it is a little caustic sometimes and a little harsh, you kind of get a kick out of it. Like you don't mind it as much as other people might, you know what I mean? And so it's like you guys kind of vibe a little bit. And you guys could have had a good situation if this person was willing to be open. I feel like in a way it scared them how much they liked you. So they clammed up and they like shut it down really quick. They like slammed it shut. And it might have been in a way that was insulting or to you hurtful. Like, because I am getting that energy that they're kind of like, damn, I shouldn't have said it like that, or I shouldn't have acted that way, or I should have been more respectful. And they've kind of had time to reflect now, and they're like, they didn't deserve that, or maybe they just cut off contact, or they never stepped forward. But I just feel like there's something I'm getting that does seem a little like disrespectful, I guess, or just not treating you with the reverence you deserve. Because in a true like soulmate relationship, there needs to be a level of reverence and care and tenderness for the other. And I'm just not getting that. Like I feel like this person lives their life really kind of rough and tumble, like tough. And it's like, it's hard sometimes when you're in that energy to come into the soulmate, beautiful, loving energy. So yeah, I feel like this person now is kind of working on maybe fixing that. Like with mending, it might have been a wake-up call for them of like, oh damn, okay, I don't want to do this in the future. I made that as a mistake and I don't want to do it again. I want to come into a different energy. I don't want to be in this chaos and conflict anymore. I need to fix this about myself. Like I feel like maybe they have woken up now, losing you of like, you know, this image they wanted or this idea they had of them being like the Casanova with all the chicks, and everyone kind of being like, oh my gosh, they're so cool, they get all this action or whatever. Now they're kind of like, oh, okay, wait a minute, that didn't really fulfill me. And the connection I feel towards this person is so much deeper and so much better than anything I felt in kind of this playboy type energy. So I definitely feel like now they're reconsidering, and they're definitely kind of working through some of those issues, which I'm glad to see, because I do think it was dysfunctional, obviously we need to have a balance of yin and yang, and there's nothing wrong with being in a yang energy and having a strong masculine vibe, but it needs to be divine masculine, not dysfunctional, toxic masculinity, not someone who is, looking for a fight all the time or trying to prove themselves or trying to prove their sexuality or something. Maybe this person has unaddressed issues sometimes with sexuality, or with maybe someone, accused them of being gay when they were younger and it's always stayed with them. Or maybe this is, maybe some of you are in gay relationships and this person is very not unaddressed this kind of trauma that they have regarding it. You know what I mean? Maybe they never really became okay with it and they still have this, even if this was a gay relationship, it might have threatened them. And even if this was something they were engaging in, it like made them panic, you know what I mean? Or even if it never came to fruition, it's like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to be feeling these things. I'm not supposed to be acting this way. I don't know, but I do feel like there is this kind of weird energy with them needing to prove, like, I don't know how straight they are or how masculine or how tough they are. There is this energy of them wanting to be very, again, masculine and kind of aggressive and tough, and being very afraid that people are going to perceive them otherwise. So I feel like anyone in this kind of a vibe, like they're not going to be able to be their highest, most authentic self. Because if you happen to have more yin energy and you are a guy, that's okay. You can embrace that and you can learn to express yourself with the yin energy in a positive way, and learn to, if you really want to grow your divine masculine energy. We can all learn to work to grow whichever side of us we want to embrace. You know what I mean? And I feel like this person, they just went the other direction. They went so extreme into this toxic masculine energy of being very like aggro and very afraid of anyone perceiving them as weak, which they identify with being overly emotional. So I do feel like there's a lot of issues with this person with I want to say almost like their gender or sexuality, or just feeling like they need to prove a point, and they need to prove how tough they are, and they need to prove to the world that they are not to be messed with, kind of a thing. And so, yeah, I feel like this is a lot to deal with. I'm not surprised that this relationship didn't work out. When you're dealing with issues like this, I mean, this is like a whole thing to unpack, that I think you kind of got caught in the middle of. I think you see the light in this person. You see the beauty in them, and you really like them and accept them how they are. And so to you, you're like, what's the deal? Like, why are you so hung up on this? And you don't even realize all these layers of insecurity that are really clouding this person, you know? Really clouding this person. But this person has a lot of sexual desire for you, a lot of sexual fantasies towards you. I do feel like they stay up late at night thinking about you, and we have got the 10 of Wands several times. But I think even if I hadn't gotten that, I just feel like they have a lot of sexual thoughts towards you. It's like you guys have this little sexual thread connecting you. You might have, you know, connections through your base chakra. Y'all might have had sex, some of you, and like it was like a very sexual connection, and you guys might have energetic cords connecting you in that way, because I just keep getting this super strong sexual connection energy flowing back and forth. The sex might have been amazing, or if you didn't have sex, this person was definitely fantasizing about it. This person is super attracted to you, and I feel like, again, this person, even though they want to kind of portray this image as like this macho, like, I've got like different people all over town, and I have all these people's phone numbers, and I'm Mr. Smooth, or I'm Miss Smooth. Again, it's like you're the one that makes them want to give it all up. I'm hearing that phrase, which I know is kind of offensive, but you know, the phrase like make a hoe out of a housewife, or make a housewife out of a hoe. I mean, like, I am not trying to be offensive or misogynistic, so excuse me for using that, but it just like, I think that this person, and I'm picking up for a lot of them, this is a masculine energy. It could be, if you're asking about a woman, then, you know, apply all the things I mentioned. But I feel like for them, like, you know, they just, you made them kind of like want to give it all up and come and, you know, it's like almost settle down. And I just think that really scared them, you know, and they're kind of not able to be present with you and truly open up with you because they're so in their head about these other issues. Like this stuff really kind of keeps them up and keeps them from living in the moment authentically. So I think it's something that now they kind of really want to work through. And it's like, the kind of thing that they have pursued, this identity as like Mr. Cool or Mr. Smooth or Mr. Casanova, it has just not given them the satisfaction that they want, and they're indicating that, you know, they are unhappy with it. It's not paid off. Like, it hasn't given them that emotional satisfaction that they felt towards you. So I do feel like they have a lot of regret for it, but I also feel like in their conscious mind, this isn't necessarily something that they would have admitted to themselves. I think that they still are in this energy of like kind of denying it, like that their higher self knows what's going on, and deep down they know what's going on, but they might tell themselves of like, well, I'm fine, or like, well, it was their loss, you know, like, but deep down they do know what's going on, and it spurred this change in them. And I think as time passes and they're more honest with themselves, it will shift and they'll be able to be fully honest with themselves. And then if that happens, they might step forward to you and they might be like, hey, you know, can we give it another shot? I don't know if you're going to get ever an apology, because I just don't sense that in this person's current energy. They seem very like bravado, like very like kind of defiant type energy. So I'm not sure that they would come forward and be like, I'm so sorry. But I do feel like they might come forward with another offer or trying to spark things up again. Y'all might get one of those DM slides, you know, in a little while, because I feel like it's kind of like I Can't Quit You from Brokeback Mountain, where it's like they just can't stay away. They're just still so drawn to you, you know, and they do think of you a lot. I feel like even if they are sleeping around, they still think of you. You're kind of the one that lured them away from like this kind of playboy lifestyle that they've been in. and made them think about giving it all up. Like, I feel like in a way, like sex with you or the connection they have with you, it's like different. Like they may be sleeping around with a lot of people, but it's like kind of heartless sex. You know, you're not connecting chakras and opening threads and stuff. It's just like sex. It's like mechanical sex. Whereas with you, there was this heart opening. And as much as it scared that person, they also know on a deep intuitive level that it's the kind of intimacy that they really crave. And I'm hearing that they actually learned a lot. And they really are also acknowledging your bravery. Like, I feel like they tried to do things to like scare you off or to make you run off. And you just kind of kept staying. Like maybe they would, you know, once in a while throw a little jibe or make a joke that's kind of a little bit insulting or something. And, you know, that's their defense mechanism. That's their way of like pushing people away. But you stayed, and they're acknowledging that. And that meant a lot to them. They gained a lot from that, and it really filled their heart. And even though they pushed away their emotions, they want you to know how much of an effect and gift it was for them, and that it is helping them a lot, and they have learned so much, and it's really spurring their growth. So it's a very important thing. They actually learned a ton from you with the Three of Pentacles and the Hierophant. You've been really a teacher for them, and I think they think about it and reflect a lot on like your calmness, your patience, your acceptance towards them, because I feel like, you know, they have done this a lot where, you know, maybe if they feel, I don't feel like they felt drawn to anyone the way they felt drawn to you, but in general, they have a lot of these defense mechanisms of pushing people away and like starting a fight, or, you know, like starting conflict, or, you know, just putting their walls up, you know. And it's like everyone else just kind of like leaves and is like, I don't have time for this. But you guys stayed, and it meant a lot to them. And so that's what I'm hearing in my mind, is like you stayed, and they really can't believe it, you know. So I feel like even though they're still kind of in this energy, a lot of them, of being still like trying to fulfill this Playboy fantasy or this image, it's like there's cracks, you know what I mean? There's cracks in that foundation, and the cracks are spreading. You know, I'm seeing like one crack that starts and it's small, and then it like spreads out, and it spreads out until the whole thing shatters. And that's kind of you made this little crack that's going to shatter the whole thing. And I feel like they're going to do a lot of reflection on this and really grow, because they really can't get you out of their head. I heard that song by Kylie Minogue, Can't Get You Out of My Head. So it's like, even though they may try to deny this and move away from this, the calling to you is so strong, and the feeling of like, wow, this person actually really, you know, accepted me, and maybe I don't have to seem so tough or so standoffish or so aggressive. This has really made them reflect, and it's like, oh damn, that's actually the most tempting thing ever. More tempting than any other sexual thing that I could think of is just the idea of like coming home to this person. I hear that, like coming home, or your home. Like, I feel like you guys give this warm, comforting, almost like Cancer vibe of being almost motherly or sweet or nurturing, and you guys understand when they're coming to you from a place of pain, and you don't let it phase you. You don't let yourself be easily run off. Like when someone wants to, you know, make a joke just because they're feeling defensive and they're trying to hit out, you're like, okay, I get where you're coming from. It doesn't affect me, you know? So this person is just recognizing that like they really admire your strength, and they are mourning the loss of this. And it's like, now they really feel, I feel like before they were able to kind of soothe themselves with, you know, one night stands, or with flirting with different people, or with going out and partying and stuff. But since the loss of you, they truly feel alone, and they're like, oh, this isn't satisfying me in the same way. And maybe this is not what I want to continue. And maybe I need to make this shift. So it's actually a really kind of amazing, like sea change, I feel, in their life. But they definitely have a lot to work on, and they definitely have to kind of see this through. They're definitely still trying to kind of protect their identity, because they feel like they've worked for this. Like they feel like, I came so far, you know, like I used to be this way, and now I've gotten this reputation as being so tough, and I don't want to lose it. They feel like they had to fight tooth and nail for this. And so they're still very connected to that, and they're still trying to maintain it. But again, there's like these deep cracks that are forming, and I do feel like you guys might hear from them in the future. And I do feel like if you hear from them, they're going to act real casual about it. Like, hey, what's up? Like, they're not going to apologize or they're not going to mention, but again, it's them trying to kind of save face because they really are afraid of you knowing like how much they care. So I would say if they do slide in the DMs anytime soon, you know, you could just act real casual, like, huh? Like, oh, I didn't know you were in love with me. Like, it's no big deal. Like, don't let on, because that will make them like run. But they're kind of like a little skittish dog. I think I made that metaphor earlier, where they are like so terrified that it's like they just bite out aggressively. So you kind of got to act like they'll do that in those hope for pause videos, where they'll kind of pretend like, oh, I'm just walking around this corner and I'm not really and then they'll like grab the dog in the net, and that's how they get the dog finally, because they have to do it that way, because obviously they need to help and rescue these dogs, but they got to kind of pretend like, oh, me, I'm just randomly over here, you know, I'm not doing anything. And so you might have to act a little bit like you don't know what's going on and you don't know their deep feelings for you, so that they kind of finally feel comfortable like putting it out there. So I really hope this resonated, you guys. I'm sorry for the lighting issues and all the changes, but I really loved this reading. I think it's really beautiful. Please let me know if it resonated, you guys. I love hearing your stories, and I'm very curious about this pile. Y'all have a really interesting dynamic. There was so much interesting stuff that came through. So please let me know if it resonated in the comments. I love hearing your reactions. And also make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. I post every few days, so if you want to see more videos, make sure you are subbed. I will see you guys in the next video very soon. Have an amazing day, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light. Bye.